Hello, 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 hello. How are we doing, people? Let's see who's in. Raj will be in shortly. Let's see who's in here. Oh, there's messages already. Dave Key, Sidekick, The State, Tammy C, Yotam. Morton, hiya, hello. Shibites, hello. BNS, hello. 72 Virgin Goats, hello. Dave Smith, hello. Morton, hi, is always on form, I tell you. Sean Bussey. Who else we got down here? Let's have a look. Carly Simone, hello. Oh, you didn't have to put the P basher in there, dudes. Come on. Please change that because that's crazy. Rich LK. Actually, I'm just going back to P basher, dude. Please change your name. That's not called for. Oh, Betty's in the house. Brown Sugar World, hello. Rich LK. What else we got down? JK. Oh, going down, going down. Lee Stanford, hello. Yeah, they're always quick to say DFLA basis. Sean Bussey. We got down. Big Bad John. W. Bert. I've got a friend whose surname is Bert. Blah blah. Rainbow Dunya. Dawn Rushton. Lady Saki. Any more? Henrietta Hedgehog. It's a wonderful name. BNS, I think I've already mentioned. Skinner. Skinner, yes. Skinner. The Messenger, Neil O'Donoghue. Did they not let you put the apostrophe in that name? Right, I think that's everyone. Athos. Hello, mate. How could I have forgotten you? Robbie Tobinson. Young man. I think I've mentioned everyone, have I? Angela. Oh my god, I didn't mention Angela. Sorry, Angela. I think that's everyone now. I'll just keep coming. Miss Southeast. Hello. Right, I can't keep going down. It's too many. Mr. Porkletchi, Big Ben, or everyone. Hello, hello, hello. That's enough of that. Right. Like I said, Raj is coming on. He said he guaranteed me he would be here by 8:30. Look at him. I'm going to try to get a few others on. I don't want to say the names quite just yet because a lot happened yesterday. I didn't go. I was busy doing my home stuff. So yeah, wow. Let's just recap what happened. There was the D mystery controversy, both with his debates and then also with Prospect. There was an even bigger controversy than that with Modine and Sophia. Moses! Moses, you're there! Moses, do you want to come on? I've been really worried about Moses. Hello, Bobby. Academic Reaching is on as well. I've been actually worried about Moses. No responses to emails. I thought he's been abducted by aliens or something. Moses, if you want to come on, let me know. So there was Manny. Let me on. Coach Moses wants me. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to have to email you. Okay, I'll do that in a second, Moses. Bear with me. What aeroplane sound? Athos. I'm not on an aeroplane. You've got some juicy gossip for us tonight. Coast of Speakers Corner say. What's up with the sound? Oh, I don't know. Is the sound not good? Oh, you guys, I tell you, very picky. Oh, wait a minute. What we're doing here? Is that better? Is that better? Please tell me that's better. Is that better, guys? Sound's not great. Fix the sound. Your mic is awful, old chap. Looks like you're in a jet engine. Is that yes? Oh, so it sounds better. All right. I'm not going to tell you what I had done because
I'm funny enough as it is. You don't need more ammunition to wind me up. But anyway, all right. I'm going to tell you. I cover my cameras on my computers. I even do it on my phone. But I have proof that they can be hacked. I'm not doing it because I'm paranoid. I have proof they can be hacked. In fact, American schools have been shown to hack cameras of students. I think there was a school in Minnesota. No, where was it? Actually, don't ask me about the where the location was. May have even been Texas, where the schools gave the primary school children or the age of primary school children laptops, and then they hacked the laptops and looked at the cameras. That is an absolute fact. Anyway, every single software, running software, has to have a back door for database access. And what I mean by that is they can access your camera. So I just cover it. Anyway, I had covered my camera and I had covered part of the microphone as well. So I apologise. Right, where was I? Oh yeah, so Sophie and Modine. Wow, he splashed. Oh my God, Modine. What else happened? There was that whole hullabaloo with Combat 18 or something when Raj was involved. But the funniest comedy, and I watched it live, and this was comedy, was Steve was speaking to that East London chap, Saeed. Oh my God, I actually felt sorry for Saeed. Steve was on form, but we'll get to all that. We might even play some of the videos. Hold on. If you don't get, I'll send the right. I'm all right. Let me log in. It's like Moses. You're like it's like having a wife that nobody wants. Bear with me. No. Um, oh, Moses. Actually, wait, 1 minute, Moses. 1 minute. 1 minute. Were you at the park? Another's asking me. I didn't go at the. I didn't go to the park, mate. I had stuff to do. The thing with me is I do two shows, Wednesdays and Fridays. And what happens, that takes a large chunk of my work time away because it has a knock-on effect. Um, so I can't always go, and plus I really don't like the needless arguments there. I want to go there constructive wise. Calm down, Moses. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Um, mm, 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 mm. There's okay. So I'm sure you guys watched the show. It was very entertaining, but apparently people who attended didn't find it as entertaining. But let's get Raj on and see what he has to say. But I'll send it. I'll send the link out to Sophia as well. Ba, ba, ba. Let's get the link up. First time I went, honestly, complete and utter waste of my time. It's not newcomer friendly. No, it's not. And when I first went there and I realised that how difficult it was for newcomers, I actually made a video about it. Obviously, when you make a video, it's only fresh for about a couple of weeks at the most. And because I realised that, and I did have the intention to create a newcomer friendly group, but they don't let you think there. The minute you walk in, it's an argument. Kind of sad, really. I find it sad. So Moses, are you on here? No. Sorry, guys. I'm now. I'm not concentrating on you guys and entertaining you. I will do in a minute. I promise. It's Moses. You see, he wants to link. I would like to come on today's hangout. Of course, it's okay. You're so polite, Moses. We're very similar, I think. Moses, it has been sent to you. Please come on. And Sophia, perhaps. Let's get Sophia. Yeah, there's Sophia. No, I'm gonna have to ask Sophia first if she wants Moses on. Otherwise, if I just get Modine on and then Raj is not gets upset, then he'll message me for 24 hours and tell me off. That's what he does. He once messaged me for 12 hours straight, telling me off for not doing whatever it is that he wanted me to do. Can you believe it? Oh dear. I wanted to hear people talk and learn. Even Raj was unapproachable. A lot of our yeah, Raj is not approachable. I'll be honest, another half the time is because he receives so much aggression there that he's always on the defensive. The other thing is what people don't realize or people refuse to realize is that yes, Raj sometimes causes more issues and solves them, but Raj is reactive. Raj is not doesn't pursue hate. He doesn't. He's not the instigator. He reacts to it, and obviously Raj's reactions to these things are Raj's reaction. You don't really want to get into an argument with Raj because you don't really come out as the winner, and yeah. So anyway, so Raj, as a consequence of having so much hatred, um, has become the personality he has. Can you make good money being an online trader? You can, yes, but you should define between a financial trader and a investor. I wouldn't recommend anybody becoming a financial trader. I would recommend as many people as possible to become investors. I've just started another channel called Sinder Trading. If you want to subscribe to that, I'm going to be doing more and more videos that covers setting up and running businesses, investing in businesses like shares and stocks and stuff like that, and also financial trading. I'm only going to give my honest views on my honest methods. It's not going to I'm not making money from any of these channels, as you guys can see. If any advert ever appears on my channel, it's because I've taken music from somewhere and they've claimed copyright. I don't even respond to the copyright claim usually, just because whatever, it doesn't matter. I mean, I could claim fair use copyright, of course, but I don't because I'm not really bothered. I should monetize my channel. If and when I do, it'll be a charity thing. But I'll see. I mean, let's not make promises that I'm not going to follow up quite just yet because I haven't monetized anything.
Very man.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm not gonna really do it nicety. Sorry, Manny. Big up to Manny. Big up to Manny. Big up to Manny. But I've got to go into my. There's a lot of slander and what I call very dangerous rhetoric is being spewed on Raspec's official chocolate propaganda channel, Islamic propaganda channel. I want anybody that can, academic screeching or anybody, to download the video. Download the videos because what they're doing is putting me in danger. Respect Islamic chocolate propaganda channel is saying that I'm associating with Combat 18, these kind of like Nazi groups. And what they're going to do is obviously rile people up to another level where my only contacts are with people on the outskirts who are like the top, like maybe someone like Richard Nimrod from Veterans Against Terrorism. So I big him up. And also, they're slandering a guy called Ray. And Ray was on the show the other day. And I'm going to say something to these. Do you mind if I talk, Manny, or do you want to?
you started,
Manny.
so who am I to ask you to stop?
All right.
Sir?
So what it is that obviously these people are scared. I don't know why one man is sound off with me. Can you hear me, everybody? Press 1. Can you hear me? Because someone JK saying the sound's off.
No, I can hear you.
Press 1. Can you hear me? Press 1 in the chat. Okay, so somebody called Lexi is saying Ray is a damn racist. Prove it. Prove it. You can't just go around saying people are racist when you cannot substantiate with concrete proof. Now, the logic of these people on the other show is so flawed that it's actually embarrassing. The fact that that fat SJW prick, Pat O'Donnell, who, in my opinion, is racist, and I'm going to say it, he is a racist. And the reason why I'm going to call him a racist, because most people on the left or the far left are racist. Now, I'm going to put up a video tomorrow of me having a disagreement with that guy. And let me tell you, most people on the left, the white people on the far left, see us immigrants and people of minorities as little children. They see us as children. Pat O'Donnell, you see me as a child. You see immigrants or migrants as children that
Why
you
don't
need
why
to.
don't you tell us what happened? Because I'm not fully aware of what's happened.
Oh, so sorry. What's happened is yesterday I was at the park, and obviously I was getting surrounded again and all this kind of bullshit that normally happens, as you saw from the other video. And a guy called Pat O'Donnell is a fat SJW, social justice warrior, far left. He's from Irish background, so he has a beef with the English as well. And so he intervened and he started saying that I associate with racists and Nazis. Now, he said that I associate with racists and Nazis because I'm standing somewhere in the vicinity next to them. Not that I know them, but in the vicinity next to them. So there was a guy, I don't even know who this man is, Lance Armstrong or something. Never heard of him, never spoken to him, but he was at the park yesterday. And they've showed proof that he's a full-on neo-Nazi. And I condemn that man. He seems like a nasty piece of work. Never spoken to him, never seen him, don't know who he is. And what they've done now is that they've said, because I was in the same vicinity as him, and he knows someone I know, I am now part of Combat 18 or something, or I support Combat 18, which is a far-right Nazi organization. And so I'm going to say that from that logic, I would say anybody that knows Suleiman, yeah, supports ISIS.
Preach.
Yeah, and anybody that has spoken to Suleiman, and that person who's spoken to Suleiman then speaks to somebody else, they are ISIS supporters.
Preach.
So how far down the line do you are? Big up Moses, big up Moses. So I'm glad to see you back, my boy, my man.
Thank you, thank you.
So I'm going to go in a bit of a tirade though, so I apologize, Moses.
It's all right. It's all right. Free.
So by their logic, because I had help from the Veterans Against Terrorism, big up Veterans Against Terrorism, Richard Inman, to support free speech, I am now associating with Nazis. Now, this is a very dangerous rhetoric from Pat O'Donnell, and I need him to show concrete proof. So far, his show that he did on Raspik's show was a disgrace. There was hardly any evidence. All there was, yeah, I do hate you, Trolly Face, because you are a two-time little prick. I'll read so many comments from you. You try and be. I hate people that try and be nice to me on my channel and then talk shit behind my back. I can't stand that shit. So basically, these people. So basically, on the other show, what they're trying to do is to roll up the Muslims and other people. Now, to the guy that spoke in Turkish, I don't know what you said, but it sounded like he was trying to say something that was violent or trying to instigate violence. Now, let me just say something to you, freaking biggest turd in the world. We can get people to translate. It's not an alien language. Yeah, it's Turkish. It's not like you were speaking, I don't know, Klingon or something, and we don't know what you were saying, and we can't freaking translate it. So there was no point doing it in that particular language, you little prick. So next time, so on that channel, they have nothing but me to talk about. The Rajaphobia industry is the only thing that will get them views and to get them money. Now,
so big is the Rajaphobia industry. Theresa May, the Prime Minister of Britain, has declared that Brexit is no longer an issue because the money generated from slandering Raj is going to save everybody.
Yeah, and they've actually said that the money on the Rajaphobia, they're going to tax it at double the rate because
And
of
I
how
heard,
much money that comes in.
and I heard that even the UN might bring it up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
So
going international.
it's going crazy. So I'm going to say something to Respect and his Islamic chocolate propaganda channel. You're shook. You're shook. Yeah, you're shook hard. And the reason I know you're shook because your show was a disgrace. There was just one individual on there that was a full-on, that I could say Lance Armstrong looked like a full-on Nazi. I've never met him, never seen him, even in the, just to prove how he doesn't know me. I was in the park when he was there and he never approached me to say hello.
What's his name?
His name's Lance Armstrong, but we was at the park together. They're trying to say that I'm in cahoots with this guy because somebody else I know knows him. Yeah, by that logic, I will say again, if anybody knows somebody that knows Suleiman or Bilal, you support ISIS.
But you do. Look, I'm not being critical to anybody, but you do. You do know, Raj, don't you, that like these people who are criticizing you, they've how can I say they've lost all respect of the public of what's been happening recently. So why do you get so worked up by them?
No, the reason I'm not worked up about myself. I'm worked up about them slandering individuals that I know
Yeah, but the people
or
that
have
are
met.
slandering you, bro, yeah, have no what's the word I'm looking for? They have no credibility. It's like
Yeah,
it's like a 2-year-old saying, you know, Raj, you look like a boo boo. You're not going to be
yeah, but
offended by that. It's that
How
type
can you
of
take
level of
anyone
intellect.
seriously who calls themselves Lance Armstrong?
yeah, but the thing is, I need to explain to you that these people have such low IQ, a lot of them, that they're dangerous. The thicker you are, sometimes the more dangerous you can be.
Knuckle walkers.
And so when you're titling your videos Raj affiliations with blood and honor exposed discussion, you
But
know,
why don't you take a screen grab and then
I have, and
oh,
I have
perfect.
already. So let me just, I might actually just actually, I'm gonna actually report it. It's up to you if you lot want to hit a thingy on it, because I personally believe that the title is actually
Yeah,
quite detrimental to me.
it is. It is that they have broken some issues there. But the thing is, you don't want them to take it down because then you're not going to get the right level of compensation from it. You know, do
Yeah, but
you understand? And then also, if you do press criminal charges, then you know if the video's not there, it's not going to be full measures. So
well, no, that's why I've told people to get a what I call a recording of it. Try and download it. I recorded the first session on my camera with a lot of slander towards me from Pat O'Donnell. I mean, Pat O'Donnell is making links between me and other people that is on another level of madness with no proof. I'm gonna say something about Pat. If Pat O'Donnell was in the house, say whether you're in the house, because obviously you was in the other chat, so you're probably here trying to listen.
who's
I
Pat
was.
O'Donnell?
He's the fat white guy that had a problem with, and the person that's accusing me of associate with neo-Nazis. So he brings some very flimsy proof linking me with a man I've never met, never spoken to. In fact, when we was in Speaker's Corner in the same area at the same time, he never even approached me. That's how little I know the man. So, you know,
But
if you,
what exactly did he say? Let me and Moses listen and see
yeah.
if there's much to this or what. So what were his words and response to what?
What do you mean? Whose response to what?
So the chap who said whoever made the accusations at the park, what exactly did he say and what was he responding to?
No. The guy that went to the park yesterday, he didn't respond because they've not let anybody onto the show to kind of counteract their claims. They've asked me to come on, but I'm not going to go on there because it's a mess of a show and all they do is shout over you. So this particular guy, Lance Armstrong, I don't really care about that guy. They proved he's a Nazi. I don't want to talk to him. Never seen him. Don't want to associate with him. But who they're slandering now is, you know, Ray that was on the show the other day. Remember Ray?
Yes.
So they're slandering Ray, saying that he is a full-on Nazi and a what you call kind of a white supremacist.
Why? How?
Because
What?
of guilt by association, obviously.
Oh.
So he knows that guy. So he automatically is also a racist now as well, and white supremacist.
Bilal was leading the prayer for the Muslims.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
this is the
And
logic. They're okay.
Bilal can't say anything against Anjem Chowdhury. So
Yeah,
all those people who were behind him, were they following Anjem Chowdhury?
Yeah, this is the problem with the hypocrisy in the park. It's okay to talk and have dinner and speak and have a good old time with open ISIS supporters, but when the individuals come down to try and help the people like myself and I'm not gonna take back the fact that I agreed with them to come down. I needed them because the amount of bullying that was going on in the park was unacceptable. Now let me ask you that the people that are complaining that they came down, the Veterans Against Terrorism, did the park improve afterwards? Yes, it did. People know that they've got to think twice when they start bullying people now, because they do need to think twice. Because I have no issue, and I'll say it again, I have no issue calling them up.
Yeah.
I have no issue calling them up. I'll phone them the minute anything happens. So just so that you know, that that is nothing I'm ashamed of. Big up to Richard Inman for helping me out. Yeah, because without Richard Inman, obviously the park would not be in the kind of like an equilibrium at the moment because things are relatively safe. Now we got Respect, yeah, official on there, the Islamic chocolate propaganda channel head teacher, the guy that thinks he's an expert on Sikhism, thinks he's an expert on Islam, thinks he's an expert on Buddhism, thinks he's an expert on Hinduism, Scientology, Klingon, I don't know, Malcolm Mindy. I don't know what he thinks he is, but he's an expert on everything. Unfortunately, he never talks about Rastafarianism, so I'm not sure how much he knows about that. So he's on the channel. I will say that your particular title is slanderous, is dangerous, and I will be reporting it. Snitch, snitch, snip, snip. Snitch, snitch, snip, snip. It will be one of the titles I'll be reporting to PC Barnes on Thursday, because titling something Raj affiliation with blood and honor exposed is totally slanderous and dangerous, because you can start provoking these low IQ savages to thinking that is true. So if I've got to shut down your channel, yeah, I will shut it down if I need to.
But
All right,
you can just put a claim in, Raj, and then just check what is suitable compensation and have official notice published by them or whoever owns the channel, and then further that through the court procedure. It shouldn't cost a lot at all if you do most of the work yourself.
Or you
Yeah,
can ask
so,
for an apology. You can ask for an apology and ask them for them to bring it down.
Yeah.
Well, the damage is done now, isn't it?
Okay.
So
I mean that's the minimum, Moses. That,
yeah, it's true.
yeah, the damage is
which
done.
is a financial penalty, isn't it? As well as any criminal stuff.
Well, the thing is, a presentation that fact SJW lefty racist Pat O'Donnell done was a disgrace. It was literally like 2 minutes, even around 5 minutes. Even the panel was shocked that it was over. You know, when you start to go to somewhere and you think it's going to be a juicy kind of like film or a discussion, and then it's over in like 10% of the time that you thought it was, and everyone's like, oh, is that it? There's nothing of substance. Only one person was incriminated in there, definitely, and that was Lance Armstrong, who I don't know. I want to talk about Pat O'Donnell for a minute. Now, Pat O'Donnell is a guy that suddenly popped up to Speaker's Corner. He's a white Irish individual. I will say he's very fat. Very fat. I can say that because I'm fat as well. But he's so fat, he makes me look like Abu Tablet.
Is he so fat? Is he so fat that if he spins around in bed, he causes a solar eclipse?
Yeah.
Okay.
And an earthquake as well.
Okay.
So he's so fat that, you know, even when I stood next to him, I was like, damn, I need to put on a bit of weight.
Is he so fat? Is he so fat he could feed a pack of lions, then a pack of hyenas, then a pack of wild dogs?
No, more than that. The whole world could live off his.
Okay.
The whole world could live with his carcass for around 10 years. So hopefully, if we ever have to become a what you call cannibals, he'd be the greatest person to wait for his demise. Now, I'm not calling for his demise. I'm just saying, just in case. So, all right. So, the thing about this guy. All right. So, have you ever met to YouTube? You know, the problem is, yeah, the people on the left, the SJWs, like this guy, Pat O'Donnell, are so racist.
What makes you think he's a lefty though?
Oh no, he's already pretty much admitted it on his thingy. He's somebody that's far left. It's obvious by the way he talks. You can just talk to somebody like this, and you will know that they're a lefty. So he doesn't have to. He keeps on saying he's not, but by his actions and behavior, one of the things is that a lot of lefties jump into bed with Islamists or I'm talking about real nasty individuals who call for the death of homosexuals, adulterers, apostates, and everything. And they would jump in the bed with them just to go against their enemies, the so-called white nationalist racists. This is that type of guy. He's gunning for the guys that come to the park to try and help us, but he doesn't even talk about the people that were trying to force me at the park.
Is he to the left of James, who is to the left of Karl Marx?
Are you talking about James S?
Yes.
James S is not a lefty.
Isn't he?
James S is a lefty on the camera and a far right Nazi off, allegedly.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I like that, allegedly at the back.
Allegedly. So far left on camera and then far right off camera. This is why it's hard to talk to the guy and when he condemns me, because he doesn't say his true feelings. So one of the things I find about the lefty SJWs like that Pat O'Donnell, they're so patronizing. They treat minorities like we're children. They have what's called a bigotry of low expectations when it comes to minorities. So we're like their children. And so Pat O'Donnell is in the chat now. Pat O'Donnell, you're a disgrace. Your evidence was flimsy at least. And on top of that, you're insinuating that by talking to one individual who's Ray, and because he talks to somebody else, that I am now associated with the far right Nazis. Yeah. By your logic, obviously, anybody that associated or has spoken to somebody that knows Suleiman or Bilal or Abdul Hakim are now ISIS supporters. Now, everyone give Pat O'Donnell a bit of a, let's say, I don't know what to say. Let's just say Pat O'Donnell's you're a prick.
No, but
proportions.
Let me just pause. And he does have a right reply, though. I mean, and are you gonna let him on the show or not? No.
No. I'm not gonna let somebody on like that on the show because it's so disingenuous.
Okay.
They're so disingenuous that they do not understand that the way they behave and the way they speak to people that they deem to be lesser than. Because I'm gonna say something, Pat O'Donnell. You think you are better than the minorities. You think you are better than us. That's why you need to help us.
But he should have a right to defend himself, though, Raj, shouldn't he?
Hold on. He said one thing yesterday that proved his whole ideology. He was talking about nationalism, being a nationalistic. And I don't actually think being nationalistic is a terrible thing because so many people are nationalistic. You can be a Pakistani nationalist, an Indian nationalist. He said on camera, which I'm going to put up tomorrow, that he said, when I asked him, he said, Vinnie Sullivan from Reality Reports. Vinnie Sullivan is a white nationalist. He's a UK. He's somebody that is a nationalist. Like I don't really have a problem with someone being a nationalist as long as you're not being racist. You can separate the two. When I asked him, can somebody from India be as dangerous as a white nationalist from Europe? Guess what he said? No. He said no. So somebody in India who's a nationalist cannot be as dangerous as a white nationalist from Europe because he believes white people from Europe are better than Indians. That's the only reason why. Because that type of person can only see white people being a danger. When I pointed out to Pat O'Donnell, because I'm going to roast you, Pat O'Donnell, like you've never been roasted before, man. I'm telling you, I'm going to go savage to number 10. You are going to get it every day on my live streams from now on. You have made a massive mistake. a big mistake trying to slander me, yeah, and the people I know. So with this guy who supports the IRA, he supports the IRA.
Do you have proof of that?
Yes, he does. He put it on the other thing, so he supports them. So basically, allegedly.
Oh, come on, bro.
So no, because so basically, yeah, basically, this particular individual is a racist because he has what's called a bigotry of low expectations. He believes that people of minorities cannot be as racist as a white person. He has said that to my face. Yeah, somebody like that is a disgrace. They think they're doing good, but in fact they're doing more harm. These are the type of people that when the robbery and grooming cases were going on, would rather let the people groom than to tell the perpetrators or go to the police because they'll be deemed to be racist. Yeah, these are the type of people that are bringing the UK down. This Pat O'Donnell is a disgrace, and he thinks he's some kind of freaking superhero and a national hero trying to expose me and other people. Yeah, this guy has nothing to stand on. He has nothing to stand on, which is why he went on to Raspek's show, which is a disgrace of a show. And I will not let him on my show because I don't want this despicable individual having a platform to talk. Because I've spoken to him enough to now know that this guy has an agenda on the left, the far, far left. He hates the UK, obviously because he's Irish. I don't blame him because the Irish have suffered under British rule. But his hatred for the UK is the same hatred that people that he is fighting against have against him and minorities. So he thinks he's fighting the far right and the racists, and they're hateful. But this guy is hateful towards the UK, and he wants to bring it down like a lot of other people, like Raspek and a lot of Muslims. This is why this guy is in cahoots with these people. So Pat O'Donnell, you're a turd, yeah? Don't, if you come in my direction, I will be showing your evidence to the police. I will be showing that you are slandering me and trying to link me to neo-Nazis. I have an appointment with the police on Thursday, and these videos and titles will be shown, and you will be held accountable.
Moses, do you have anything to add?
I think Raj has said a lot there. Unfortunately, the guy hasn't got a right reply though, Raj.
I didn't have a right reply when he was talking about me for an hour and a half.
Okay, I don't really have much to say on this issue. And how about you, man?
But I want to ask Pat O'Donnell, when I was being threatened at the park, when I was being told that I've got to leave the park by the Muslims, when I was being told I'm not allowed in there, free speech, when I was told that, you know, people were attacking my family, when people were putting my dress up online, where other people like women were being intimidated, when people have had death threats, where was you then? Where was you then, Pat O'Donnell? Because the only people that came to help were the Veterans Against Terrorism and Richard Inman. So big up to them. Where was you? Because all you want to do is bitch and whine, but you can't do nothing but support people that want to destroy the UK from within. And you are also an enemy of the state, like those people are. You're a traitor, full stop.
Is he the kind of person that would pay the jizya, Raj?
Of course he would. He was paying jizya all over the Muslims' face all day. This is the type of guy here that if his family here was being massacred by Muslims or a minority, he'd be, oh, don't blame them. They're just brown. They don't know what they're doing. This is the type of guy that has no respect for minorities because he thinks we're children and savages. So he needs to control us and to kind of what you call kind of protect us. We don't need your protection, you prick.
That's true.
So tomorrow I will be putting up the video, and I'm going to say something to Pat O'Donnell. I've texted Ray. Let me explain to you. I've texted Ray and Richard Inman. Both of them have a right to reply. You have slandered them. Yeah. Both of them will try to get onto a panel, or if Pat is in speaker's corner, he has a right to speak to you. when you mention a man's name and say they're a neo-Nazi, then that man has a right to reply. So let me just say something to you, Pat. These people will have a word with you. Oh, and another thing, let me just clarify something. There's a guy called Sangmore, yeah? Sangmore is on the reality report, yeah? Sangmore, in my opinion, has a form of a disability. If you meet him, you'll know straight away that he's either severely autistic or there's some other issue going on. And with Sangmore, his views are very, very crazy. In fact, when I spoke to him once, he told me, and I've got it on video, that he controls a library in the sky.
Whoa.
Yeah. So Sangmore, the person's clip he played, that is about him saying that the slavery was good for black people, and I condemned him on the show straight after, and Manny actually dropped out the show, and I condemned him on the show, which this guy did not play. All he played was Sangmore saying it. We all condemned him, yeah. But this particular individual, who's called Sangmore, has some form of disability, and so you must take that into account. He, on another show with me, on another place when I met him, told me for 20 minutes that he controls a library in the sky, yeah. And he wasn't joking. That's what he thinks. So for people to hold him up to the same standards as others is pretty despicable, and not put things into context about what he said. I'm pretty sure Vinny and them would want a word with you as well, Pat. And Glenn as well. You're slandering Glenn as well. You know who Glenn is, don't you, Manny?
Glenn, I'm not sure.
You know, the guy that normally comes Speaker's Corner. He's sometimes with Vinny from the reality report.
Oh yes,
that
yes,
we was
yes.
on. So he's saying he's a neo-Nazi.
No, he's a very, very nice guy. He's so polite and
yeah. So he's saying he's a neo-Nazi. He's saying that Ray's a neo-Nazi. He's saying that Richard Inman's a neo-Nazi.
When it comes to
like,
this, go.
So this is a very, very, very. I don't think he understands that these kind of accusations can hurt people's careers, can hurt people's families and stuff like that. You can't just start slinging around stuff like this without no proof. All you have is one individual called Lance Armstrong that is a full-on Nazi
and on steroids.
And just because people speak to him, it doesn't make them all Nazis as well. Because by your logic, everybody that speaks to Suleiman or Bilal or Abdul Hakim are all ISIS supporters. That would mean the whole park or Speaker's Corner is ISIS supporters. All right, so you don't talk for a minute.
Moses, please tell me where you've been. I've been ultra worried about you. You weren't responding to my emails. You weren't coming to Speaker's Corner. You didn't join any of the live streams. I mean, how am I supposed to prove to people that I have no problem with any black people if you don't come and stand next to me?
Okay, this is what the aliens told me to say. Yeah, the aliens told me to say that I was working, quite busy, had family and personal issues. That's what the aliens told me to say. You know, they put a lot of probes in me, and I have to admit, to be honest, it was quite fun. But and in the end, I escaped and came back here. But I was just busy, personal matters, really. But I'm back. I'm back completely now. I'm back fully, totally, utterly. Yes. And gone.
And have you been keeping up with Speaker's Corner?
Here and there. I quite like the Deen Sophia videos until the incident last week. But the way Deen was trying to serenade Sophia was quite amusing. But I haven't been keeping up much. No, not really. So I don't know what's happening, really.
Fair, no, it's all right. It's all right. It's just now. Remember, every so often, once a month, every 2 months, there used to be a lot of hullabaloo, and people would surround people, and arguments and threatenings of violence would happen. Well, that has now become not even a weekly thing. It happens on the hour, every hour.
That's just totally.
Well, the thing is
totally
that
out of
even
order.
yesterday, I got threatened. I don't saw the video. The guy saying there's a guy that me and him were having a heated discussion before.
On what?
Pakistan,
On
obviously
what?
about the burqa and
Yeah,
India.
that's. I mean, I was there.
Oh yeah, that
on
guy. Yeah.
Sunday.
So
Yeah.
basically, later he comes over to me. Remember, it was heated. We didn't even like each. I told him I don't like him. It was obvious we didn't like each other. He comes over me and he thinks it's appropriate to tap me on the shoulder on my back and go something. And I looked around and I said, "What are you touching me for?" Then he started poking me. Obviously not with that, because obviously the Mujahideen like poking with their little danda, but that wasn't with that. It was actually with their hand. And then it escalated. He's like, "Oh yeah, I can do whatever I want to you." Yeah. Now, this Pat O'Donnell doesn't complain about that. In fact, what he does, he takes them around a corner and blows them off. That's the kind of guy he is.
Jizya.
Like, he sees something like that where I'm getting threatened. Instead of going up to this guy and say, "Dude, man, you're a little Asian guy. You can't control yourself. You're a savage," and blow him off around the corner, he starts attacking me. So these kind of guys, yeah, have no freaking morals. Yeah, they would watch their own family and their own people be destroyed rather than be called a racist. This is why when I called him a racist, he went freaking ape shit, obviously. So this guy, the best way to beat him, call him a little racist. Pat O'Donnell, you are a racist. Pat O'Donnell, everyone write Pat O'Donnell is a racist. Everyone write, tag him in, Pat O'Donnell is a racist. Yeah, because Pat O'Donnell is the biggest type of racist. At least with a Nazi or a far right guy, they're in your face and they say, "We don't think you're good enough to do X, Y, Z." With this guy, the way he does it is through bigotry of low expectations. He thinks us little Indians or black people, we can't think for ourselves. We can't protect ourselves. We can't be racist. If we're being associated with somebody, we must be controlled by them. Yeah. Like he said, the great philosopher Pat O'Donnell, I will clip that particular part, says an Indian cannot be as dangerous as a white person. Think about it. An Indian nationalist cannot be as dangerous as a white nationalist. Now, let me ask you, what does that mean to you? If I said to you, an Indian nationalist, yeah, a black nationalist can't be as dangerous as an Indian nationalist, what you would think is that I think as an Indian, I have more power than a black man, yeah, in one particular way or another. And this particular,
you do know that I know which video you're referring to now, but you do know all this came across correctly in the video.
Yeah, I know, but I need to just reiterate it just to get it, because I'm not being funny. Hold on, Manny. There are a lot of thick people out there.
Now, I'm gonna tell you something that I've realised. What happened in Speakers Corner, especially to you, but a few other people as well. That there are obviously people pre-addressed and pre-rehearsed to say and do certain things and send them towards targeted people. So let's take you for example. They would pick on a subject, get a person, recruit a person, and tell them to say this, that, and the other. And there's either hidden cameras or there's hidden people, and they just rile up situations like that. And he may be, and I'm not saying he may be one of them, or it might just be a genuine argument. But the problem was, and I know why you feel the way you do, that it was the 80-1 Muslim gentlemen standing around you, and anything that is said against you, whether it's accurate, whether it's funny or not, there's always a crowd cheering. So for you, and including people like Steve and anybody else, it doesn't matter. You could come out with the best point in the world and prove that what they're saying is not true. It doesn't matter, because the moment somebody says something against you, there's always a cheer, because that's what they are recruited and sent to do.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, all he said was that Raj associates with National Front, and then everyone said, "Raj, you've taken an L." Yeah.
What does that mean?
Basically, an L means a lose, that I've lost. So if I just basically that fact, SJW, that Pat O'Donnell, said, "Raj, you associate with National Front." And everyone started screaming. The low IQ savages started freaking screaming, "Rod, you took an L." Yeah. with no proof that I'm associated with this guy. Let me ask you something, yeah, to that fat SJW, and I can call him fat because I am fat. So Fat O'Donnell, thank you, Shabita Jagannatha. Fat O'Donnell, that's what I'm going to call you now. Fat O'Donnell. When that guy, Lance Armstrong, that you are trying to associate me with, was in the park yesterday, did he approach me to say hello when we was in the same vicinity? Because I never even saw that man. If we knew each other so well, why did he not come up to me and talk to me and introduce himself? I've never seen him, don't know who he is, and he looks like a despicable character. So you're trying to associate me with somebody that I have no clue who that man was. Yeah. And I do want to say something. I recognize you now, Fat O'Donnell. You know, I recognize him. Moses.
Is he the kind of person who's so fat when he invites people to his house for dinner, he tries to eat them?
Yeah, no, he doesn't try to. He does.
Oh, okay, all right then.
When you go to dinner for Fat O'Donnell, you never leave. It's a one-way trip in. You walk in happy, you never come back out. So the thing about Fat O'Donnell, yeah, is this. I recognize him now. I know who he is. I did a bit of research. No, I did a bit of research. I Googled his name.
What's his full name? Oh, actually, don't say.
Yeah, it's Fat O'Donnell. Fat O'Donnell. But guess what? He is the star of the #1 porn series. Yeah, he's a cuck. He sits there and does the 5-knuckle shuffle as his women get pounded. This is the type of cuck he is. And this is what he does in life as well. He's a right little cuck. Yeah. So Pat O'Donnell or Fat O'Donnell, on Sunday, I dare you, are you going to come to Speaker's Corner on Sunday, Fat O'Donnell? Fat O'Donnell, you're going to come to Speaker's Corner on Sunday? Because I'd like to have a chat with you.
We've been joined by Sophia, right? I'm just going to divert.
Oh, hello, Sophia. How you doing?
Hello. While you catch your breath, Raj, I'm just going to divert the conversation to Sophia versus.
No, okay. I just want to say one thing. Tomorrow I will be putting up the video of Fat O'Donnell. Make sure you have it in widescreen because you're not going to be able to get his gut on there. Yeah, yeah. And stop. If you want to save the world, Fat O'Donnell, stop eating. Stop eating. Okay. Give the food that you're wasting to the poor.
To Abu Talha.
No, give it to Abu Talha.
Give it to the poor. You want to save something, you just don't eat for a week and you could probably feed the world.
Okay. So Sophia, what happened between you and Modine? Because I've never seen anything like that before.
Okay,
is the engagement off, by the way, Sophia? Oh no, sorry, go on.
Sorry.
Oh, hello, Sophia.
And is the engagement off between yourself and Modine, or is it was never ever on?
No, nothing was ever on. What the hell?
Go on.
Okay, so all right, so I was walking into the park. Before I even got into the park, someone pulled me up because apparently I walked over the prayer mat outside. So even before I got into the park, the Muslims were already trying to start on me. And then I walk in, guess who is the first person to walk over to me? Deen. And I just see him and I think, oh, here we go again. And then he pulls up his phone and goes, oh, I saw what you said about the prophet, blah, 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 and showing me a message that I put on YouTube about the fake prophet Muhammad. And then he said, you can't say that. And I said, well, I can. I think that these Muslims at the park think we're in somewhere like Pakistan or somewhere where we can't say stuff. It's so strange that he comes up to me and says, you can't say this.
He must have you mistaken for Asiya Bibi. So sorry, go on.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, I could say what I want. And he basically said I couldn't. So he said, I don't want you to basically say this again. So I said it again. And then he started to get angry. And then he basically said, no, you can't say it. Like, I genuinely think he thinks that I can't say it. And obviously I can. So I walked away and I said something. I don't know what it was. I either said, fuck Islam or fuck Muhammad. And then he walked after me and threw I don't know what was in that super bottle, but he threw something on me. And then obviously he ran away after that and went straight to all the Muslims and said, oh, she cursed the prophet or something like that to try and get them angry and stuff. So that's kind of what happened. But I called the police and I had an argument with the police as well on the phone. Because I called the police because we couldn't find, me and Raj was looking for the police everywhere.
Yeah, that was
and we
stupid yesterday. I don't know where
yeah,
they
it was
were.
ridiculous.
We'll have to say that too. We'll have to mention that on Thursday.
But Sophie, what was you thinking? You went to a place where there was free speech, and you exercised your right to have free speech. What were you thinking?
What was I thinking?
What were you thinking? I mean, like you're going to Speaker's Corner and you're actually speaking freely. I mean,
right? Can you believe it?
Don't know what's your problem.
I know, but can you imagine? Out of all places they're trying to implement Sharia law, they do it in Speaker's Corner. Absolutely ridiculous.
The funny thing also is that he went to Jedi for help, and Jedi never did anything to help.
I know.
And he walked off. He went straight to Jedi. Help me!
I know.
I think what happened there, he hit panic mode, and as a consequence, he didn't know quite what to do when he realised the consequences of what he had done. So the best thing he could do was create a scene and get some support. But as you said, Jedi didn't really batter an eyelid. He was too busy conversing with the other Looney Tune of the day. Which was,
and guess what? And guess what? Yeah, Sophia, did Fat O'Donnell help you that day?
Yeah, we'll get to wait, Raj.
No.
Wait,
I want to ask her whether Fat O'Donnell is chivalrous as well.
He was eating, Raj.
No.
He was eating.
Oh, he's eating. Was he all right?
Yeah, he was eating his breakfast. He only started his breakfast about 6 a.m. So
did
about
you,
1 p.m.
Did you press charges, Sophia?
Yeah. So let me tell you this next part. So we couldn't find the police anywhere, so I called them, and I was on the phone to the police, and I was asking what happened and stuff, and I was telling them, and then the cheek of this woman, she goes, "Oh well, that is quite a minor offence."
Wait. How did she know what that was thrown in your face? It could have been anything.
Exactly. So
could have been coffee, could have been tea, could have been acid.
I said to her,
could have been
obviously
sperm.
what happened, and she goes, "Oh, okay." She goes, "Oh, okay. That's quite a minor offence." And so then I was getting angry because she said that, and then she was asking what exactly was it that I said and what happened. So I was explaining to her that was in Speaker's Corner, and obviously I exercised my free speech because I can, and Modine got angry, and she asked me what I said. So I said fuck. She said I said fuck Muhammad or fuck Islam.
And why did you find you have to? Why did you feel like you had to say that?
No, I didn't. But she asked me, and I don't have a problem saying it.
No, but to Modine, why did you say that? Like, why did you?
Because the thing is, I wouldn't have walked into Speaker's Corner and just said it. I said it because he actually came over to me and said that I couldn't say it. And how dare someone tell me what I can and can't say in Speaker's Corner?
Can I just say something?
Wait.
Hold on. I just want to say something. Hold on 1 minute. I just want to say something. Bobby G said something important. It could be acid next.
That's what I said as well. No.
That's what Moses said as well.
Yeah, you don't know what it was. You don't know what it was. It could have been coffee or tea. I mean, that's hot.
But my point is, Sophia, I'm not critiquing you. I'm just putting this out there for everybody to have a conversation. That it sounds like you said it out of anger, and
no, I'll tell you why I said it. I said it because he came over to me and put his phone in my face and said, "I cannot say it." So if someone's going to tell me that I cannot say something in the home of free speech, it's just going to make me say it. So anyone out there, don't come up to me at Speaker's Corner and say I can't say XYZ, because I'm gonna say XYZ.
Exactly. That's true. Exactly. I mean, I stand by you. Not that I would have said it, but you can say what you want.
I wouldn't have done that. Violence. It was because he came over and said that I couldn't say it. That is why I said it.
So you thought to yourself that I'm going to say the most the daring thing that I could say and see how you're going to react.
Well, no, he came over with his phone instantly, never said hi, nothing. As soon as I get into the park, runs up to me with his phone saying, "You said this about the prophet. You can't say
Someone
that."
said gold sperm. Oh God. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, just so that people understand, I don't agree with what Sophia said, but look at it from her point of view. She walks in the park, and people are calling her he. Calling her tranny non-stop. I mean, it's literally non-stop. It's just non-stop, and it's always normally from the same crowd of people, the Muslims. So obviously she's going to get agitated.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, their ideology calls for the death of her. So why would she have any kind of sympathy for their beliefs. Like they act like, you know, she should be, like I always say, it's like a freaking little chicken supporting KFC. Like, why would they do it? I mean, the chicken would hate KFC.
But also, let's get this right, Raj. Anyone can say anything in Speaker's Corner as long as they don't directly insult violence.
Anyone can say anything. Anyone can say anything anywhere in the UK. That's
as long as you don't directly incite violence. You can't say "let's go kill the Muslims," for example, but you can say whatever you want about a public figure or an ideology.
No, but my point is only this. Wait, Raj, let me make a point. So my point is only this, and I don't mean you know, to create further controversy. My point is, like, we know that freedom of speech does not work with certain groups and certain communities. So should we try to use our energies to
no,
bring?
Manny, with all due
Wait.
respect.
That should we? I'm not. This is not directed at you. I'm just generalizing here. That should we not spend our energies to bring them up a few levels so they think about free speech as most of the Western world does, or should we create another approach, for example, reactive in Sophia's case? Because I don't think they get free speech. I don't think free speech works in all types of communities. It only works in advanced communities and mindsets. Sophia?
No, I do understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that we are in the UK, and these people are very aware that if they go to Speaker's Corner, they may be offended about what people say to them. I said, if you only want to hear good stuff about Islam and all that kind of rubbish, there's a mosque 10 minutes away. I would even pull it up on Google Maps for them if they really want, if that's all they wanted to hear. But we're at Speaker's Corner.
I mean,
I don't understand.
We're
at Speaker's Corner, so you know you can get angry. And by the way, offense is taken. So when people say certain things to me, now I'm kind of immune to it because I've heard all that same rubbish so much that it just doesn't bother me. But I'll never go to the point of where I attack someone or abuse them in any kind of physical way. And as I said, the only reason why I said what I said was because he came up to me and said that I couldn't say it. How could you come up to someone at Speaker's Corner and say they can't say something? It's just crazy.
But he said that to Hassan. He said to Hassan, because Hassan said "fuck Islam," yeah, and he said to Hassan, "You can't say that," and then he tried to fight him, and he just kept charging at Hassan. And I was trying to stop it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just kept on charging at him over and over and over again because he said that. And the thing is, other Muslims heard the same thing, and only Deen attacked Hassan.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, but I want to. Obviously, I need to go back to Fat O'Donnell. I'm sorry, we got to go back to Fat O'Donnell. Fat O'Donnell, yeah. Where was you? Was you there condemning the people? Condemning the people that splashed water on Sophia's face, or is she not enough of a minority for you?
It wasn't water; it was some kind of sugary drink.
Yeah, but I want to ask him, have you got a point system about how much of a victim someone is? So right now, the victim mentality is out of number 10, the Muslims are 10, so they can do no wrong. Then there's other ones like maybe black, then Indian, then transgenders and all that kind of stuff. Because obviously you SJW pricks can't kind of judge anyone on their own merits. You have to give them by their color or by what kind of sex they are, or what kind of minority they are. So I'd like to know, Fat O'Donnell, if you're still in there. I'm going to say something, Fat O'Donnell. You are slandering people, yeah, and it's not acceptable. I want to hear you say this to my face on Sunday. So can you confirm that you're going to be at Speaker's Corner on Sunday? I know you're eating and your face is full of turd, yeah, and you're probably about to go for a poo at the same time as you're eating. I could imagine this guy being such a filthy sod that when he goes toilet, he's so hungry he still eats. So as he's eating, he's pooing at the same time.
Is he the kind of person, Raj, that is so fat that if he farts, he causes a hurricane?
Yeah, of course not.
Okay, all right then. Okay, all right.
Like he doesn't read the newspaper on the toilet seat. He eats on the toilet seat. As he's eating, he's pooing the same food that he's just eaten. That's how efficient he is with food.
Is he so fat, right?
Say this before everyone says this shit, I can say it because I am also fat.
Raj, is he so fat that he went to the Super Bowl because he thought there was going to be food?
Yeah, of course, and he ate the
Okay, all right,
freaking
then.
players and the ball
Okay,
as well.
all right, okay, all right, fair.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like making fun of his fatness, but obviously he's too rotund not to make fun of him. Like, you know, have you seen him though, Moses? You've seen
No,
him.
no,
You can't miss him. I'll be honest with you, I actually thought he was a Muslim convert because he looked like such a weirdo that I thought, all right, he's probably being targeted by the Muslims, and he was probably ginger or something because it was nighttime. He looked like one of those fat gingers. But obviously, the only other person that will take him is gonna be the freaking lefties, and so he's jumped on their freaking bandwagon.
I heard that someone
Yeah.
went to the park and they blocked out the sun. Was that him or someone else? No. Okay.
Of course,
go on,
it's him. Everything that's a natural disaster that is caused by any kind of like shaking and stuff is to do with him.
Okay.
He had no hurricanes or earthquakes until he was born. So people. The thing is about Fat O'Donnell. Hold on, Fat O'Donnell.
I heard he fell off his bed last week and caused an earthquake. Gone.
Yeah, cool. Fat O'Donnell. Are you going to come to the park on Sunday? Fat O'Donnell. Are you going to come to the park on Sunday? Stop eating.
Tell him you're going to buy him a meal.
Stop eating and answer, you little prick.
It goes from one extreme to the other. We have
Take the burger out your mouth
that doesn't
and
eat.
stop getting sodomized by some little minority and answer.
Oh, look what he said.
Sean Bessie say he had Ray to help her, it would be on the video. So let me ask you, Sophia, when you got water splashed in the face, who helped you? Ray.
Well, definitely, yeah, Ray. Not.
He's slandering Ray, saying he's a neo-Nazi. So, did any Muslims help you? Did Fat O'Donnell, I don't know, slowly run towards you? Because obviously you can't run very fast. Did he slowly run towards you to help you, or was it Ray that helped you?
It was only Ray. Well, and obviously you and other people, but no Muslims.
Yes, so it's only the white people that can be the.
Pat.
It's only the white people that can be the aggressors. This particular individual hasn't taken into account the reason why it wasn't a DFLA that come. That was a Veterans Against Terrorism. He doesn't take into account for the last year and a half. People have been bullied. People have been intimidated. People have been having death threats on them, pushed out the park. The person he attacks here is the people that are trying to help the park rebalance. Are these people saints? No one said they were saints.
But you forget, from Pat O'Donnell's point of view, it could be that they're brown and they've suffered. You know,
so this Pat O'Donnell here doesn't. Yeah,
no, and these poor brown people, they just don't know better. Allegedly.
Do you want to get that Pat O'Donnell on it? We might need 5 spaces though.
I think it might be relevant.
It should be fair.
But the thing is, normally you only need 1 space, but you need 5 for him. So Pat O'Donnell, we've only got. I think let's check how many spaces we've got. We got 7 spaces left, so we can only have 2. Normally we can get 10 people on, but when Pat O'Donnell comes on, we can only have him and 2 more people.
Okay, I'll put the email address I use for posting, which I don't. It's no personal stuff on there, so I'll put that email address in there.
Are you gonna? Do you want to come on it, Pat O'Donnell, to defend yourself?
But can I just also say to the mods that generally speaking, let people spew whatever they want, but if there's anything against anyone's mother or anyone's cousin or anyone's sister, then that person needs to be blocked. Other than that, unless they're completely abusive, let them chat their whatever they're chatting. So be nice and respect each other's freedom of speech. Sean Bassey, it isn't important. So Pat, are you coming on? Could you make a statement in the chat so I know what to do?
Yeah, that's a great. I will say great thing about free speech. It exposes idiots. Go on.
Yeah. I will say that if he does come on, I'm not going to lie, I really dislike that fat prick. So I will let Manny talk most of it and you guys talk. I will intervene when I need to say something. But other than that, and when I do speak, I'm going to warn you, there'll be a lot of vitriol and hatred.
Yes,
I'm not gonna
yes.
lie to you. I don't like him.
And
Yes,
the shotgun
Pat,
that you've got, Raj, keep that away.
Guys, 1 minute, 1 minute. Pat, if you could paste your email address, that'd be great. I'll send you a link.
Don't bring the shotgun to Speaker's Corner, Raj.
And
Don't worry, I got a shotgun of a mouth. That's enough.
So, Sophie, what
Yeah.
does Modine have to do now? Does he have to apologize to you
No,
without
the
the,
thing- okay,
without
so
the
the thing is that-
performance?
No, I called the police and stuff, and they came and stuff, and then they gave him a warning. So if he does anything like that again, he's going to be banned from the park, just like how Omar is. So I'm waiting for him to do something crazy like that again. Because look, if he does something like that again, he will be banned forever.
But despite all his faults, he is funny. I mean, he's got lots of flaws, but he is a funny guy. Or
No,
you don't
okay,
agree?
No, to be honest, when I first met him, I was like, oh, okay, fine. This is like kind of funny, and then it became annoying. Then I started to actually hate him.
Okay, yeah.
I'm just sending. I've just pasted my email address that I use for this type of thing, Pat. Can you make sure you do not give the link out to anybody else and just keep it private? Otherwise, we get all types of hoo-has coming on here. So, sorry, guys, carry on.
Yeah. So next week, I wonder if Modine comes and I say the same thing. I wonder if he'll do something.
He done a live stream. He done a live stream saying that he doesn't think he's coming back.
I don't think there's any requirement to say anything as
exactly.
extreme as that.
No,
Sophie.
I know.
I know you. I know you were angry. I know you were upset, but I don't think whether you like any religion or ideology or not, I don't think there's anything doing that. But you're talking to somebody that I never criticize religions, because I know that people are very immature when you say to them, like including members of my family, they can react very immaturely because for some reason it gets into the fabric of their persona and they think their religion is part of them and is more important than it actually is. So that's why they become trigger happy.
I don't agree with Manny. I don't agree. I think everything can be critiqued. But
of course it can be, but it has to be with it. I mean, you could critique me any way you want, and I'll respond how I need to respond 90% of the time. But it doesn't work like that if the other person's conscience isn't advanced enough.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is that if I do ever have enough of Modine, I just know what to do to trigger him, so he can obviously react and he'll be banned. So yeah.
But also the point, Sophie.
And now I even
Sophie,
Modine beat his
just
wife
because
now.
you can say something doesn't mean you should.
No, I know it doesn't mean I should, but what I'm saying is that if he does do the same thing where he comes up to me and says I can't say what I want to say in Speaker's Corner, then I will say it. I'm just letting you know now. So don't be shocked.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just sending Pat the link. I'm just going to visit the gents before he comes on, because no doubt it's going to get quite heated. So you guys carry on for a few minutes until he comes on.
Okay, so
I'm going to say that my police report. I was supposed to go tomorrow, but I've decided to leave until Friday, so I can have the meeting with Steve and all of us on Thursday.
Oh yeah.
Raj,
and then do it after that. Yeah.
Raj, I heard, according to government statistics, 70% of the people who are going to be in prison next year are going to be in there because of you. Is that true?
Well, I hope so. I'm the Mujahideen hunter. I don't know what it is about me, but they just get very triggered when they're around me. Like, start cooing like pigeons. They're literally metamorphosis into a pigeon. But what they don't realize, when they do that, I'm a pigeon. I've got a pigeon fetish. So that actually makes me like them more.
And they're probably going to start. And they're probably going to start a hate Raj fan club. You know what I mean? We're going to join up every Friday and curse Raj.
yeah, I know. But the Rajophobia industry. I mean, look at Raspect Show here. The only way to get people on there and to rile them up is to have 2 shows named after me. Like, I'm actually what I call kind of like. Obviously, I'm a narcissist in a lot of ways. So actually, I'm kind of like honored. Not honored, but kind of like that.
Did you see the video, Raj, with Respect and Deep? I mean, there's a video on Mr. Rex.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Respect. I think Respect held his calm pretty well. So I've got to give him props for that, because like obviously it's hard to keep yourself calm in that situation when somebody's look who's here. I'm an Indian here.
I'm an Indian.
I'm an Indian.
He's
in
there.
here.
Oh,
Let me
come on,
say something here. Let me
Game
say
on.
something here. Let me say something to I'm an Indian. He held a samosa for 12 hours last week, yeah? 12 hours. Then he said to me he was shocked that the samosa was cold at the end of the day.
I didn't know he. I didn't know he ate Indian food.
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't. He just looks at it. He stores it for like he's got a cupboard full of samosas and pakode and any kind of tanduris. But he doesn't eat them though, obviously. But this guy, yeah, shall we get him on as well? This little
Yes,
freaking
yes.
I'm
Let's
an
get
Indian.
let's get I'm an Indian.
Yeah, but
on.
Manny has to end the show early today. This is the problem, man.
Sorry, who are we getting in now?
No, let's leave it because you have to end the show early. and there's too
Who was
much comedy
mentioned?
gold.
Who was mentioned?
I'm an Indian. I'm an Indian's in the place.
No. Why would you? What do you want him in there? No offense to him, but what's the point?
Yeah, but did you hear that he walked around with a
No
samosa
offense,
for
but what's
12
the
hours?
point, man?
Sorry, Raj. What did you say?
I said he walked around last week with a samosa in a bag for 12 hours, and he was shocked that the samosa was cold by the nighttime. Like, I don't think he understands how heat and everything kind of drains from like food. So he was assuming that holding it for 12 hours is going to keep
He's
it
not
warm.
the smartest person around, Raj. I mean, he's the kind of person who would study for an eye test. You know what I mean? He's not the smartest person around.
And he'll still foul as well.
Exactly.
I think gentlemen, he's been on the show a couple of times. He kind of ironed out a few creases. Yes, that is funny, but I don't think we need to expand on that. But he deep down he's a nice guy. I just think he just doesn't always how can I say think before he speaks.
True.
Well, no, but I mean, yeah, you can't. All right, yeah, he pretends to be innocent, but he's not as innocent as he thinks. It's a bit of an act. I've realized what it is that he will only heckle non-Muslims. It's like he understands you. He's intelligent enough to know that if he starts heckling Muslims, they will bash his head in at some point. This is why he doesn't provoke the Muslims, because he knows if he continuously went to Speaker's Corner heckling Muslims, what do you think would happen to him? And so obviously he's clever enough to understand this.
And he's been going there for about 50 years, hasn't he? I mean, I saw videos of him in 2004, 5, 6. So he's been going there quite a lot of time, hasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, well done, everyone. Can I just say something? We got double the viewers of Raspek's Islamic Chocolate Dawa channel. So we have got double the amount of thingies, but we got more dislikes than likes.
I thought we doubled it when we hit 2. Oh,
did you guys see the falling out between D Mystery and Raspect?
Yeah, we're just talking about that. Yeah.
They made up though. Big Ards made them shake hands.
Yeah, but Deep is so. I said it. You remember that time? I don't know if you was there, Moses, when I said this guy is going to be somebody that might be like suddenly you'll hear about him on the news or something about something crazy. Like he's so volatile.
Yeah, just when you thought after Rap Boy was evicted, you thought going to come down, and then there's the Deep comes in and fills in the void.
The thing about Rap Boy, he's been sending me abusive voicemail. He must have been getting new numbers or something because I've blocked their numbers. He must have. Okay, so I was checking my voicemails a couple of days ago, and I realized I had some from him, and they are vile. So I'm putting them up. I'm gonna post them up because they're disgusting.
From Rap Boy. You sure it's from Rap Boy? Rap Boy is so young, it's so nice and innocent, isn't he?
So lovely.
No, yeah, it's definitely Rap Boy.
Okay, guys, we've been joined by Pat. Pat, hello, can you hear me?
Hi, Manny.
Okay. No.
Yes, very good, thank you, Pat. So let's just get down to business, as we say. You've obviously, I don't go on to many people's channels, a few or far between, so I don't know what you converse with Raspect and whoever was on the panel. Raj obviously has. You and him had a debate. I saw a little bit of that. Perhaps you could come in and make your opening statement.
Yeah. So yesterday, me and Raj had a brief run-in. I'd say I wouldn't say it was a debate, and it came to me saying that there was a Combat 18 member in the park, and also the association with the reality port. That's not me echoing, is it?
No, so just to clarify, are you saying, or do you mean to say that Raj is associated with any racist group?
He said, I know
Let him answer. Let him answer. So you'll come in, Raj. Let him answer, because we may have got the wrong end of the stick, and he may not have meant that. So, did you mean to say, or did you mean to associate Raj with any racist group?
Yes, I did. Racist individuals, I said. So Raj then responded to me and said that I should prove it. Obviously, in the park, I can't, produce evidence. So I said that I will come on a live show to do that. And Respect reached out to me and asked me to come on his show.
Okay, and what proof did you provide?
Well, firstly, there's several aspects to this. You've got Lance Armstrong, as you're calling him, Raj, Lance Wright.
Don't know him, never met him.
Raj,
Who he is, so how is it with me?
Raj, I didn't say you
no,
didn't.
But you had put into their minds that I know this guy.
Raj,
this guy was at the park yesterday,
they're very clear,
and he did not even come in my direction. I don't even know who that man is.
Raj, I didn't say you did know him. I said someone you know knows him, didn't I?
So I'm guilty by association.
No, you're guilty if have you or have you not, Raj, said that you have individuals that come to the park to support you, namely football lads.
Of course,
against terrorism.
Because I am being intimidated and bullied, and they are helping me.
Raj,
are you the left helping? No,
right,
you're not. You're all pussies.
Raj, listen,
you're
first,
racists. You're a racist.
Wait, Raj.
Racist.
So what you need to do, because at the moment it's not, it's slander at the moment. So you need to somehow conjure up evidence to back up your statement.
That is on Respect show. It depends. Well, where are we going with this? Who are we starting with? And what?
No, you need to. You've come onto the show and you said,
Manny, Raj is misrepresenting what I said. So this is the thing. Before I can,
young man. I asked you, are you calling Raj racist and associated with racist?
I said yes.
And you said yes.
I said he associates with racist individuals.
So you need to back that up with evidence, because you made.
If I can get a word in with Raj talking over me, then I might be able to. Now I didn't say you knew Lance, Raj. So Vinnie Sullivan first, who runs the reality report. You're going to sit there and tell me that he's not a racist, aren't you?
Do you have proof to say he's racist?
Yeah, I do actually.
You provide it?
Sure. Give me 1 sec. So while I'm just getting this on my computer, you are aware of the slogan 1488. Do you know what that means?
What, 1448?
1488. Are you familiar with what that is?
No, but tell us what that is.
Okay.
Hitler.
Yeah, so 14 is the 14 words that white supremacists use. It basically means something along the lines of, we will go out to preserve the white race. And 88 refers to Hail Hitler, the 8th letter of the alphabet being H, 88, right? Do you understand that? And you can do a quick Google if you just type 1488 in.
Well, the number 8 also means affinity, and double 8 also on its side means double affinity in ancient Hinduism. So that's not really proof. You're just being conspiratorial. Listen, Manny, I don't. There's a screenshot there, for instance. I don't think Tony Burke. If Vinny, let me project that 1 minute.
What do you think? Do you think there's a possibility? You're saying, Manny, that on the reality report, and this Destroy the Soy, which is run by the reality report, you think there's a possibility that 1488, which is what neo-Nazis use, they're actually, what did you say it's also for, Manny? The letter 8?
The number 8 is infinity.
Right, so you think that it's probably, that's what they're saying, are you saying?
No, I'm saying with the number 8, I was just having a conversation. So who's posted this?
Well, as you can see, it's loved by Vinnie Sullivan. I mean, this is just an example, right? This is just an example.
Give us more then. What's more? Is that it?
I'm sorry, there's nothing so far.
We can't so far.
It's a like.
Raj, 1 minute.
We can't go forward though, unless we're on the same page. Do you acknowledge?
Young man, let me tell you how slander works. You need to, at this moment, back up by proving that Raj is associated with racist groups. You haven't done that yet.
Did you watch the Respect show?
No, I told you right at the beginning.
I've already done it, man. I've already done it. So,
so let me give you. Can I? Let me give you the evidence.
Please, Raj. 1 minute.
Let me give you the evidence that he's given, though, because it's very pleasing.
Listen, Raj. You're going to come in. Don't worry. At the moment, Pat, I don't think you've realised what you're saying and what you're doing, because you've come on
I
the
do.
show. I'm gonna say it again, right? Just so you know. So please don't interrupt me, because then I won't have to say it again.
Yeah.
You've come onto the show. You've been invited on. You've come onto the show and you accused Raj for being associated with what we would call racist groups, and you have not been able to provide any evidence.
I've been on the show less than 5 minutes, and the majority of that I've been able to get a word in edgeways. Would you agree?
No, we're giving you a fair chance. In fact, I've had to
I've not even started.
Stop Raj from speaking.
But I've not even started though, Manny. You know, I've not even been on the show in 5 minutes, and already you're saying I've not proved anything. Well, what can I prove in 5 minutes?
But I don't know if you had any more, Pat. Stop being so condescending. I'm trying to host a show here. So I don't know if you've got a catalogue of so-called evidence. Your first evidence was pretty diabolical. So I'm trying to get to the nitty-gritty. It's 10 o'clock at night. Everybody needs to get to the
It's diabolical.
You
It's diabolical, man.
You need to respect.
Might mean anything else other than the 14 words and Hail Hitler. I mean, it's unbelievable. You would not acknowledge.
Pat, please listen. You need to respect me as the host, because I'm not trying to get the better of you or anybody else. I'm trying to direct the show and get to the nitty-gritty. So if I talk over you, it's because I'm doing it for the purpose of the show.
Yeah.
So fair enough, you try to associate by some numerology and symbolically that's going back in history. I'm not disputing that. I would like you right at this moment, if you are able to, and if it's possible, for you to confirm if you have any evidence to associate Raj with any extremist right-wing Nazi groups. If not, perhaps an apology is justified here.
Right. Can I begin?
Of course.
Right. So we'll start with the DFLA then. Right. Raj, have you or have you not alluded to the fact that football lads come to the park to defend you, along with VAT as well?
Pat, you need to provide the evidence.
Manny, I need that just confirmed, because
you can't. I don't think you know how slander works. You've got to have the evidence to start off with.
Right. The DFLA and its founding member, the man that runs the DFLA, his best mate is a convicted UDA gun runner. Okay? So that is a racist organization. It's not a few racists in the rank and file. The founder member, the person that runs it, is a racist.
So you have evidence that Raj is communicating with him?
No. Raj says the football lads come to the park to defend him.
Can I clarify?
I need to clarify, because he doesn't know what he's talking about.
I never said that. I said the Veterans Against Terrorism, Richard Inman.
Thank you.
Nothing to do with that. I don't have no communication with
Raj,
the FLA or the DFLA.
Raj, Ray, for instance, does he not facilitate football lads to come to the park to defend you?
Let me just say something. I know Ray now through Richard Inman. On that day was the first time I met him.
Listen.
So
Ray
with Richard Inman was the person that I was communicating with. Richard Inman, big up Richard Inman and the Veterans Against Terrorism for helping me. I really appreciate their support, because whether you like them or not, without them, Speaker's Corner would be a one-way bully playground. And luckily they came down and they stored some what I call kind of some equilibrium.
Right, we'll get to all that. He has to provide evidence, otherwise he's looking stupid at the moment. Pat, please provide evidence.
Where were we before that came in?
You came up with a name about some gun or something.
So here's my point. Ray facilitates. We all know who Ray is, don't we? He uses many names.
I don't know. I don't know who you're talking about personally.
You don't know who
Ray. Come on, he was
okay. Yes, I do. I apologize. Yes.
Right. Ray facilitates football, well, quote unquote football lads. I mean, they're grown men, to come to the park. Do we accept that?
And okay, let's say he does.
Let's say he does. So the first point is the DFLA, who are the football lads. Their founding member, the man that runs the organization, is an out-and-out racist associated with loyalist terrorism. Okay.
Where's the proof of that?
Where's the proof of that? Right, I'm going to give you a name. Okay, Frank Portinari. That's Frank Portinari. Okay, if you type that name in and then you type in the founder of the DFLA, not John Meehan, by the way. I'm talking about the guy that founded it with him and broke away with the DFLA, Philip Hickin. Okay.
No, but we're talking about the Veterans Against Terrorism came down. That's who I was in communication with, not the DFLA. I don't know that.
You do understand that, don't you? Because
No, there's no, hold on.
that came down to
No, but
support.
we're talking about
There's an overlap. There's an overlap. Raj,
with
there's
So Pat is saying there's an overlap with the DFLA and the veterans.
of course there
yeah,
is.
but I was going to communicate. He's talking about me, slandering me.
Yeah, we'll get
I
to
was
that.
only
Raj, as I said on Raspek's show several times, and even on the video as well, I did make it very clear that this is not personally against you. I am interested in these larger figures.
Title. Yeah, it's a Raj affiliate.
Listen, Raj. Why do you think I made that clear on the show? Good Lord.
Raj, this is a new show title, Raj affiliation with blood and honor. It's slanderous.
Raj, can I respond, Raj? Yeah, I've got your point, Raj. Why do you think on that show, if you listen back to it, throughout that show, I made it very clear what I just said, that it wasn't personal. I did not title that show. I did not say you have specific links with Combat 18. I said there was a Combat 18 member in the park who was likely facilitated by Ray because he is one of the football lads and he is.
Did he talk to me?
I never said he did, Raj.
So you were linking
associate.
Let me lay it on the line here before Raj comes in. Let me lay it on the line here.
Raj, you are misrepresenting.
Gentlemen, please respect this show.
Manny, because it's very important.
We've listened to you, Pat. We've listened to you.
Raj is
not. This is not just about you. You've got to let me lay it down on the line for you because what you've done is quite serious. I don't think you realise.
Manny,
you have so far made accusations. Don't make me mute you. You have made so far accusations that Raj is associated with a right-wing racist group.
No, I said Raj's friend Ray, who he's skulking around the park with, facilitates. I said his friend.
You have failed to provide any evidence for that, and that is extremely bad. You need to understand and respect that. Raj, I've asked him a multiple of times to provide any concrete evidence. It's all association for your association. For you, Raj, as far as I'm concerned, your association to ISIS is as much as any racist right-wing group. So perhaps you can come in and respond to what he said so far. Raj?
Oh yeah. So basically, he's been on to Raspek's show, and the new show is Raj affiliation with Blood and Honor. Blood and Honor is an extreme right-wing Nazi organization. I will say to the people that are listening to that show, because I know you're watching from your show, I will get that channel struck down if that's not changed. Yeah, I will go to PC Barnes because you are slandering me with a neo-Nazi group. Yeah. Lance Armstrong, I don't even know who that man is. He was in the park on Sunday. This is how little I know him. We was in the same vicinity because I know from camera footage now, but we never even acknowledged each other because I don't know who he is. In terms of Ray, yeah, is a good guy. Even the panel members, so big up to some of the panel members who are trying to be fair on Raspek's channel, which is the Islamic chocolate propaganda channel, obviously, and an echo chamber, which is why I'll never go on there. And on that channel, we had somebody at least that was being fair. So whoever that was, man, I give you pure respect. And the thing is, one of the guys on there even said he knows Ray in the day when he was younger. And guess what? Ray has lots of black friends, this guy said. It's a bit weird that this guy has loads of black friends and is a neo-Nazi. Yeah. Vinnie Sullivan, they also bring up one of the other flimsy evidence was that, remember Sangmore on that show, when he said on a reality report that slavery was good for black people. Remember that? And you dropped off, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you were sick of that. I condemned him outright on that show. Yeah. Not only did this guy not play that clip of me condemning him, on top of that, he doesn't even put it into context that Sangmore is disabled. He has some form of severe autism or some form of disability, to the extent that I've got a video of me talking to him for 30 minutes where he was talking about having a library in the sky that he visits. Now, does that sound like somebody that is of sound mind?
Why did we even let this guy on? It's ridiculous because we asked him for evidence, and his evidence was a screenshot from a mobile phone, somebody using 488 messaging, and like, I mean, this is ludicrous. This is not evidence. And then to provide evidence, he had to ask you questions. This is stupid. Why am I even involved in shows with those type of people?
I know they're listening on the other show. I want to say something. This Pat O'Donnell, yeah, is a racist. He's a racist because he's one of the SJW lefties that think that minorities and black peoples are like children, that we cannot think for ourselves. He said to me categorically to my face in the park that when I said about white nationalism, most people are nationalistic, whether you're black, whether you're Indian or whatever, and I was talking to him about that, he goes and says that, oh, when I said about Indian nationalism, he said only white nationalists can only be dangerous compared to Indian nationalists. So what he's trying to say is that Indian people cannot be as dangerous as white people because we are not as powerful or better than white people or on the same level. These type of people on the left, yeah, are complete and utter gutter-dwelling turds. They're pricks, yeah. And I'm going to call him Fat O'Donnell, yeah. Fat O'Donnell, stop eating and start thinking for once, yeah. Stop trying to side with people in the park that are bullying people, trying to get them out of the park and trying to intimidate and threaten everyone. Even on the day that you was there was a Muslim guy that I played a video that said he was going to knock me out or something or do something to me. Where was you when that person was saying that, Fat O'Donnell? Where was you when Sophia Lewis got water chucked into her face, Fat O'Donnell? Where was you? You was probably in Birmingham.
Why are you wasting your energy on this chat, Raj? I mean, the guy came up with a screen grab from his phone as evidence. That it's supposed to be the most condemning evidence. He doesn't have it. He's managed to rattle you up for no reason. The guy, do you know what I mean? The guy doesn't have anything to prove.
It's not about rattling me up here. What it is that I'm sick and tired of these people who, like, you know, even James S, yeah, and all of these guys, not understanding that the park is being run by thugs, yeah. And unfortunately, sometimes you need a bigger bully to come down to sort them out. Do you understand? And I have, just because people are listening on the other line, I have no issue calling them again. No issue, yeah. If people keep on trying to get me out of park or trying to bully people, I have no issue ringing up Richard Inman or any of these guys. Because to me, whether you like it or not, yeah, I have one thing in common with them. We both want to fight for free speech and freedom of religion, yeah? And we all support the UK. We may have differences in ideologies, but we still have that in common. I have nothing in common with these particular thugs and bullies at Speaker's Corner who support ISIS or are extremist Islamists, yeah? Those people to me are the enemies. And like I said, I would join the enemies, my enemies, my friends sometimes. Yeah, and some of these guys are not angels. I never said that. Yeah, but at the end of the day, at least they come down here trying to protect me. Where was this Fat O'Donnell, yeah, when all of this bullying and intimidation was going on? Where was he? He was probably sitting on a toilet, shitting himself and eating at the same time. That's how fat O'Donnell is. He eats and shits at the same time on a toilet.
Steve, Speaker's Corner, I've sent you the link, mate, if you want to come on.
To be honest, I think when you call people a racist of any kind and you associate people with racist organizations, you better have proof. Yeah, you better have proof. You better
sue him.
Today, he's starting a lot of people today. I mean, the best you got was Vinnie Sullivan. Are you serious?
And it'll be like, it'll be, no, I'm not going to say that because that's not funny.
Miss Southeast is saying Richard Inmans is in the chat. Can we verify that? Can we get him in?
Yes, Steve said that too.
Hold on, I've got his number, so let me just text him.
Richard Inman, if that's yourself, Raj is going to be sending you the link if you want to come on and.
Raj, can I just ask that quickly? I mean, do you think that probably in a few weeks they're going to say that you're a member of ISIS or something, or do you think that's
because I talked to Suleiman. By their logic, who knows somebody, we are now all supporting that particular individual. Now, If that's Richard Inman, and a big up to Richard Inman, yeah, because where was you fat turd, yeah, and your lefty mates when people were being bullied in the park? Did you call anyone, or was you too busy eating?
Do you know? Can I make a suggestion with these type of people? Right. I used to, without going into too much detail, I used to have a business, and we used to defend people's rights in mortgages, and we used to do regulatory actions against banks, including high street banks, and many of the times we would get massive discounts on people's mortgages. But my point of telling that story is that we were able to require letters of authorities and full disclosure, and have a look at what people were earning and what people weren't, if that was required, and that type of thing. I think it would be a very good idea for a lot of these people to sign just disclosure and get an independent body to see where they're making their money. Because to come on and say Raj is X, Y, and Z, and not be able to prove it and show screen grabs of a third, fourth party liking a comment, whether they understand it or not, it's just ludicrous. It's just absolutely ludicrous. And so
that is Richard Inman in the thingy, so we're going to try and get him on to at least say something if he wants to come on.
Yeah, send him a link, please, Raj.
Let me just double check whether I can.
Maybe Raj is like me. He wouldn't join any organization that would have us as a member.
Yeah. You have who as a member? Us lot. Yeah. We're not the lowest common denominator.
That's right.
Where's his thingy? I can't find it now.
I mean, how can any group be racist if they're supposedly backing an ethnic person?
No. Look, look. It's not. This is getting stupid now. Yeah. Being a nationalist doesn't mean you automatically become a racist. Yeah. Being a nationalist doesn't make you a racist. And this is one of the things. As soon as somebody says they love the UK or they're a nationalist, you're automatically a fascist Nazi. So let me ask you, you fat O'Donnell, if someone in India says they're a nationalist Indian, are they then a racist? You know that's how stupid that sounds, because there's a lot of nationalist Indians. Does that make them racist automatically, or are they just nationalists?
I know a lot of nationalist Jamaicans, the bloody racists.
Glenn, I'm going to paste my email address here, mate. Just email me, please.
Are you talking to Richard Inman?
Glenn Teal.
Oh, let me just give me email address.
Glenn, if you can email me, please. There's the email address.
Yeah, obviously there's this obviously there's a bigotry of low expectations from these lefty racists like Fat O'Donnell.
Steve has joined us, Raj. Perhaps he can give his insights.
Hi, Steve.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hey.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi there, hi everybody. I wasn't going to join you, but I couldn't resist.
Manny, I'm going to text you. Oh, sorry. I'm texting Manny Richards' email. Can you send him the link?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I reached out to Richard to let him know what nonsense was going on, and I just wanted to add a few facts into this ridiculous saga this afternoon or this evening. I've spoken to this individual on 2 occasions. Second one yesterday, the first one the week before. Before, we just had a bit of say again.
You spoken to Pat? Are you referring to Pat?
Yes. Well, I'll explain in a second why I call him the individual, because he introduced himself to me with a completely different name. He did not call himself Pat to me yesterday.
Interesting.
Now, firstly, is that not evidence enough to see this individual is not trustworthy? Why would he introduce himself to me yesterday and I asked for his number and he gave me his number and he gave me another name? Why would he give one name yesterday and then a different name today? This individual is not trustworthy. He is clearly up to something.
And is it because of A, he's a lying bastard, or B, because he's a lying bastard?
He's a fat bastard.
Okay.
Well, let's allow everyone else to reach that conclusion.
Okay.
Now, clearly tonight's little saga has had one objective, and that one objective is to slander Raj. It's clear. It's clear why he went to Raspek's channel when apparently he was supposed to be going to Raj's channel to do this. Why would he choose Raspek of all bloody channels to get this out on? And all this insinuation. I know every time you challenged him, he said, "Oh, but that's not what I said. I said this and I said that." It was clearly all directed to lead people to reach the conclusion that Raj is directly connected with extremist, right-wing, fascist, racist organizations. That was the clear plan, and that is clearly what has happened. Just read all the comments in the chat.
Read the title of their thing, their new live stream, Raj affiliations with blood and honor.
Read
full on Nazi organization.
Read the title of the video in YouTube. Read all the comments. He was clear what his objective was. He can tiptoe around, but that's not precisely what I said. The desired outcome was absolutely clear. It was to slander you, Raj. And I have no idea why he's chosen you to slander Raj. It's just I don't know the logic. But I think the biggest question is, clearly he hasn't just suddenly turned up randomly at Speaker's Corner with all this information under his hat. Where's he got all this information from? And most importantly, who is he working for? And what is the objective on all of this?
Hi, good evening, everyone. Evening, Manny.
Hello.
Oh, Glenn,
Evening.
They've been slandering you as well, Glenn, man. Sorry.
I know. I heard it. It's okay. It's okay because Pat O'Donnell is a left-wing Antifa intel bloke who's gone over to Raspek and all of that to provoke them to come against everyone else because that's the tactics of the left. He's a leftist Antifa. I really want to say one word, but I'm not going to say it. But yeah, he worked. he's part of the part of the Antifa lot. He could be part of the Irish wing. I would say he's part of that. He's part of that side of it. But yeah, he's part of the Antifa and the leftist.
So he is the enemy of the British people.
Oh, most definitely. He is most definitely enemy of the British. Not even just the British people. Anyone who's sticking up for this country.
I was going crazy that I was wearing a poppy. It's like, what?
And that also explains why he went after Reality Report, because Reality Report and Vinnie Sullivan has stood up to these Nazi, fascist, racist and bigoted people, because Vinnie himself was stabbed in the neck, if I remember, by these guys.
It was actually on the right side of the head, just on the side behind the ear, cut all open his head. It was used by a military grade, what is classed on the market as a military grade kosh that struck him over his head. Yeah, we've been on the front lines. We've been hit out with sticks, spat at. I just want to address something as well to respect to Pat and all of that.
Go ahead.
No, one thing. Let me just say something. For people that don't understand, this is Glenn. This is the so-called Nazi fascist that this guy was talking about that goes Speaker's Corner. Now listen to Glenn. He's been at Speaker's Corner.
Can I welcome him?
Obviously, being a nationalist doesn't make you a Nazi. Let me clarify. Being a nationalist doesn't make you. And Vinnie Sullivan's in the house. Can we get Vinny on as well, Manny?
Yeah.
It's blatantly obvious that being a nationalist doesn't make you a racist. Anyone could be a nationalist, black, brown, or white. It doesn't. I mean, it's talk about blatantly obvious.
If you care about a country that you live in,
of course. I mean,
is that so wrong?
I'm a nationalist for Britain, and I'm black. So what's the problem?
There isn't a problem. It's all made up by the leftist agenda and many other people as well. And good evening to Richard, who's just joined us.
Hello, Richard.
How you doing?
Hello, Richard. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, no problem.
Richard, how you doing, man?
All right, Rich.
Yeah, I tell you.
Yeah, sorry about that. I mean, there's a lot of slander towards your name, and without you, you know,
Don't
he
worry
helped me
about
out
that.
when
I
I was
mean,
in need.
I tell you what,
So,
I'll be honest with you. I'm concerned about your personal safety here, Raj. It looks like they're trying to set you up for an attack, bro. That's the impression I get from what they're doing. They demonize you first, and then if they attack you physically or in any other way, it's going to be more and more justified, and that's what they're seeming to be doing. One thing that this Pat fella said, has he disappeared off the scene? Was he on this chat, or is he bugged out?
he's on Raspberry. He came on for a minute, and obviously he had such flimsy evidence that Manny was like, "Oh, I'm not going to listen."
Yeah, he made one allegation against me about having an association with the person called Jolene Bunting. I did an interview with Jolene Bunting because she's basically been debarred from holding political office because of her political opinions, and it was a freedom of speech and a freedom of religion issue, which we were talking about earlier. So what he's doing, he's taking half truths, conflating them, and making them say something that's totally not true. He was also attacking Ray. And Ray's a really good lad. I've met Ray on a number of occasions, and he is not an extremist. In fact, he's a very, very moderate guy, and he's nothing to do with the leadership of the DFLA either. So these are just lies that this guy's telling. It's absolutely scandalous, to be quite honest with you.
Well, that's absolutely disgusting, and I don't doubt that for a second, because the way he was presenting the information was just slanderous. And he's working for somebody, and it's definitely not for Britain. It's definitely not for our country.
It's that leftist agenda, and working for the Antifa.
100%. The reality is there are people on the sort of edges of our movement who are right wing. There's no doubt about that, right? I mean, you get that in every single movement. You can't police that all the time. You can't stop people turning up to Speaker's Corner, and they are not in the leadership of any certainly not leadership of Veterans Against Terrorism, and they're not in the leadership of the DFLA either, because I know all those guys, and they have done more than any other organisation to weed out people that are really, really sort of extreme right wing than any other group I've known. You know, I mean, I just get sick of this constant slurring against the DFLA and against the veterans, because what they're doing is they're taking half truths and conflating something that's not there. It's like this big conspiracy story. It's just ludicrous.
Well, one of the things is on the day, I call him Fat O'Donnell. I'm not going to lie, he's very fat. He was around when I was being threatened to be knocked out. Yeah, it's on video. And this Fat O'Donnell, he wasn't helping me, was he? He was obviously going against me. He wasn't when Sophia got water chucked in the face by Deen. It wasn't Fat O'Donnell here helping, but Ray. So all of these people, this guy is what you call obviously he's a cuck, and he hates the UK. He thinks anybody that is pro-UK is an enemy. And so for me, Cuck O'Donnell, you're an enemy.
Well, he is. He's an Irish Republican, without a shadow of doubt. He's coming on there with an Irish flag. So his loyalty is not to the United Kingdom. It's to some la la land fantasy of an Irish Republican utopia. Even the way he was speaking about, in fact, what he was saying was very, very racist, because he was denigrating basically everybody in Northern Ireland doesn't hold his opinion, which is a completely sectarian and bigoted thing to do. I've got friends from both sides of the community in Northern Ireland. And his analysis of things is analysis of things that were going on 20, 30 years ago. He's a flipping retard. I mean, he really is.
All right. So what's
I simply don't understand why they're targeting Raj specifically. I don't understand the logic of why that is.
I'll tell you exactly why, Steve. Because basically, Raj completely upsets the apple cart because he's not playing their game, and they are playing the race card. I mean, at the end of the day, if they target a white guy, right, at Speaker's Corner, then that's not where they're trying to retreat. They're trying to drive a wedge between us and anyone that is not the same skin color as us. They are the most racist people that you will ever come across in your life. That's what they're trying to do. And I will say categorically that nobody in the leadership of the DFLA or the leadership of the Veterans Against Terrorism is racist. In fact, on our leadership team, we've got another Sikh. How it's ludicrous. Same as with the DFLA, there's black lads on the leadership team of the DFLA. But the difference between them and us is we don't look at someone's skin color. I'm telling you that here and now. In the veterans and the DFLA, we do not look at people's skin color. That's not what we're interested in. But they're very interested in that.
What's so strange is that when we go, our group is called the racist group, the Islamophobes, the bigots. But when we go to McDonald's, guess what the most diverse group is? Our group. We have
Exactly.
black people, white people, transgenders, gays, Asians, Chinese, you name it. Everybody's in the group having a good time. Then you look at the other groups, yeah, and they're all exclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so who are the real bigots? And I'm sick and tired of this narrative of Richard Inman coming down and the Veterans Against Terrorism because they just wanted to cause trouble. No, you little pricks, Fat O'Donnell. Why don't you look at videos and evidence of why they came down? They were a reaction to the bullying and the suppression of free speech at Speaker's Corner. And if you keep on doing it, they'll keep on coming down. So start behaving
they have to rewrite reality to get any sense to what the story they're trying to write. They have to rewrite reality, whether it's the timescale, the chronology of the violence that we've had at Speaker's Corner, or whether it's our group of people. As you say, Raj, you could not get a more diverse group.
The other thing I want to say about that day when we came to Speaker's Corner, I mean, there was only about 15 of us actually got into the place because there was a major police operation to stop us getting into the place. But that's another story. That wasn't a Veterans Against Terrorism or a DFLA event. It was literally just a whole lot of guys that were concerned that Raj was getting bullied, that Steve was not comfortable with what was happening in the park. And we came down after being invited to come down. We didn't come down to cause trouble. We came down to exercise our freedom of speech. There wasn't one punch thrown. There was nobody pushed, nobody shoved. There was a bit of verbal exchange, which was quite boisterous. And then as soon as we did what we set out to do, which was basically make a couple of speeches, we turned around and we left the park until the mob followed us. And then we turned around and said, well, we're not leaving until you stop following us. And that was it. You know, that's all that happened. And that's totally triggered them. They can't stand it.
To show how successful it was, the only thing they can point at is Abby said something about my turban.
Yeah.
So for me, that was a massive success.
And we never even invited him. We never even invited Abby. He just
I know, but that just shows you how little happened, but we still made a point. And even if people wanted to come down to defend free speech, yeah, they're allowed to. We are not having Speaker's Corner turning into some freaking Sharia controlled zone. Exactly. Yeah, and we're not having the bullies going around. They don't like the fact that bigger guys come down and put them in their place. That's the only reason they're upset. Not for the fact that, you know, free speech was being suppressed or that people were being intimidated and women were being kind of like scared and all that kind of stuff. This is why Fat O'Connell, you're a turd.
And he can't get his information. None of his information that he has is anywhere correct.
Well, no, some of it's based loosely on facts about people. But the reality is that when he's attacking the leadership of particularly the veterans and the DFLA, he is completely off on a tangent. I mean, you know, does Phil Hickin know this guy Frank Potterani? He probably does, you know. But that doesn't mean that Phil Hickin is any way associated with loyalist terrorism. It's a ridiculous conflation. You know, we all know lots of people from lots of different backgrounds with lots of different pasts. It doesn't mean that we in any way are associated with what they do.
Richard, what was so silly that when he was saying this, there was Suleiman who associates with Anjem Chowdhury in the crowd, and so everybody that has spoken to Suleiman from now on is ISIS supporters and Anjem Chowdhury supporters. By your logic.
Exactly. Exactly.
You not see how ridiculous that is.
The next time you see Pat O'Donnell, just throw him.
Yeah.
I'm saying the next time you see Pat O'Donnell, just throw him straws because he's obviously trying to grasp a bunch of straws, isn't he? I mean, he's not coming up with any real facts.
No, it's all
touching straws.
It's all guilt by association. I mean, if you do marches where there's thousands of people attending those marches, you cannot know everybody that's on those marches. And the other thing about this is that people can change their opinions. I mean, you know, by his logic, he's obviously an Irish Republican. By his logic, there would never have been a peace process because nobody in Northern Ireland would ever have changed their opinions. He is living literally 30 years in the past. Northern Ireland's a peaceful country now because people have changed their opinions. He's a fucking retard.
That's why I asked him. I said, look, there are people like Majid Nawaz, when I knew him in my 20s, was part of Hizb ut-Tahrir and wanted to Sharia and would have joined ISIS. Now they're a complete lefty. You've got to show us the person of today, not the person of 5 years ago. People can change. We got Vinny in the show anyways. Vinny, the evidence against you was...
Yes, Vinny.
We will say that Vinny is a nationalist. that doesn't make you a racist. Yeah, a nationalist is not the same as being a racist.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
I think we're all nationalists on this panel anyway, so does that make us all racist?
Absolutely. I mean,
Exactly.
That's a good point.
I mean, look at the panel in itself, the diversity of the panel as well.
I'll stop being racist, Raj. There's
Yeah,
nothing diverse about
stop
this
calling
panel.
it.
But
Stop
Stop
calling
pointing
it.
it out. Stop pointing it out.
what I think.
Stop being a white supremacist, Raj.
Listen, the reason I've come on to this, guys, can I just say something here? The reason I've come on to this, I believe, just judging, now there was a Turkish guy on that channel there, and he said, he started speaking in Turkish. I don't speak Turkish. I don't want to speak Turkish. But he basically started speaking to some of his comrades. And I wonder what he was saying and what he was trying to incite. I just think we need to be very vigilant. And you guys that are going, I mean, obviously, I can't get to Speaker's Corner because I'm a geographical location. But you guys that are going there on a regular basis, you just need to be careful that these guys aren't trying to stir up some sort of hornet's nest for you guys.
Richard,
it's funny you should say that.
Richard, it's been recorded because I was recording the whole show, and I translated because Hassan is Turkish.
Yeah, we need. That was my.
Good.
I had it.
I was going to say,
we need that translation.
I think this guy thought he was speaking Klingon or something that we cannot understand. It's Turkish.
It's playing Connect 4, Raj. Remember, when I'm playing Connect 4.
They're playing Connect 4.
Can we get Vinny in? He's been waiting. Vinny, can you come in? Because Vinny, are you there?
Vinny, where is he?
Okay, well, we can come back to
Anyway,
Vinny.
yeah. It's funny you say that because as soon as you came off the show, me and Vinny said exactly the same. Like that needs to be translated and
it does.
found out what he meant, what he said.
I think what's happened tonight could be very sinister, and we've got to be aware that these guys could be planning something. So you've just got to you've got to be prepared for every eventuality. The other thing is it's a microcosm of what's happening in the country. You've got the far left, and I'm not going to name the groups, but you've got the far left and identity groups ganging up together with Islamists to basically shut down any dissent to their hard left communist agenda and the Islamist agenda, and they're working hand in glove. It's the same as these groups like Stand Up to Racism and Unite Against Fascism, which are Islamist and hardcore Socialist Workers' Party groups, and we've got to be aware that that's the agenda here. It's being played out in Speaker's Corner, which is quite ironic.
I can give an assurance that the police were alerted to that live stream before it even started.
Good.
So
That's good.
they will obviously
good
already
effort.
well on it.
Well, let's hope the police do the job and sort these people out.
Well, the thing is, this fat O'Connell, he's probably eating and shitting at the same time. He's one of the biggest racists I've met. Yeah, the far right, at least with the far right Nazis, they're at least honest with their racism.
Yeah.
With you, fat O'Connell, you are a bigger racist than them, because what you said to me was that when I was talking about nationalism, because everybody is nationalistic from a country. So in India, you have not a lot of nationalists in India, and he said only the white man is the most dangerous nationalist. And I said, what about the Indian? He said, no, they could never compare to the white nationalists. So what you're saying, in a racist of racism of bigotry of low expectations, is that we are not better than them or cannot be better than them. Yeah, and the white man is better.
Hi, Vinny. Hi, welcome to the show. Did you manage to catch any of the stuff Pat was saying about you?
I did catch some of it. I apologise, everyone, for my picture. I find myself quite funny. What we're doing here is falling into a bit of a trap. This is exactly what they want. What you're doing now is giving them all plenty of voice recordings and all sorts of things and gossip from every individual that each has influence. We're feeding. This is what you're looking at here is an Antifa communist, well trained. What we can see from what I'm looking at straight away, I see a Sinn Féin sort of mentality, which is being pushed forward by people that are trying to rile up the people that they've been watching for a while. I mean, you just heard the word us. They were way too affluent in the subject. It's clear they've been watching us for a long time, and they've seen this sort of opportunity to come in and throw a few digs in. Let me just address a couple things because I'm going to keep quiet. I'm not going to talk too much. I'll give it legitimacy. I'm going to go and enjoy the rest of my evening. But they had a go at Alex, quite rightly so, to which I obviously went completely mental at him, because that's not our way of thinking at all. I have to remind everyone again and again, I grew up, my two best friends on the planet are two Turkish twins. You don't know me at all. You don't know what we're about. We're nothing. We're not ethno-nationalists or any of this jargon. Alex is incredibly autistic and does not understand fully human emotion half the time. And it's our fault for having him on, but it doesn't mean he actually means that. What he'll do is, you'll be arguing against a point, and to win an argument, he will say extreme and ridiculous things. So what we'll do is we're going to take him off the air for a while because we had such a bollocking at him, after we did that. So we know we punished him inherently, but we know he's got a heart of gold. There is no one Alex wouldn't sit next to. So that's why I never turn my back on him. As for the other allegations, half of them were rubbish. We didn't attack any bookshops. We got attacked, all sorts of stuff. So is one of the chaps in here? He'll just be recording everything we're saying, and all you're doing is giving him a hard on over it. So I wouldn't worry about it. We are anything but racist. Everyone out there that's had some sort of death threat or anything like that, sit down, calm down. Trust me, it's not even worth worrying about.
The reason why we need
But
the thing is, if we don't say nothing, it's like we're guilty. So we're in a catch-22 situation, but we must respond. Because if we don't, then they're going to say, all right, they're right now on the other stream.
I hate to sound like Sadiq Khan, but slander is part and parcel of putting your face out there. And some people can take.
Well, the thing is, they're
talking about it because they can't handle it, and others won't.
But the problem is with my situation is that they're trying to slander me because they know I'm getting traction. And the way to slander me and get less traction is to say I'm associating with blood and honor. So basically, they haven't said I'm associating with the right. They're saying large affiliation with blood and honor. So and the thing is that for me in the park, that can be quite dangerous if people start assuming that I'm associating.
The bottom line is, I think the concern has got to be for your safety, Raj. The reality is these people, they're inciting. What they're doing there is they're inciting violence against you, Raj, and that's the issue that worries me. I'm not going to be in Speaker's Corner until the new year, so it doesn't affect me personally at all. So I'm not bothered one way or the other in terms of my own personal safety. What I am concerned about is your safety, Raj, and I just think we've got to be very mindful of that, and we need to basically make sure you're protected and you're looked after.
All right, can I say something? Like, I knew when going into this that safety was going to be a problem, but I'm telling you, I'm sick and tired of bullies trying to kind of intimidate me or the UK or.
Raj, I think it's time, mate. I think it is time. I mean, I know you've done great things, but ultimately, what you're seeing now is you have won. The narrative now is let's all make excuses to get violent and slate everyone and start playing the race card.
Hello, Vinny. You're cutting out, Mama.
I think you've won. You've wound them up to the point of exhaustion.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said when I come on. I said, look, I've pretty much beaten them. They've lost all arguments. All they can do is coo when I'm there.
Can I ask you, who ever made it a race issue? Was it anyone else but these people in question? Was it anyone else that ever made it a race issue?
Yeah, obviously the Islamists are fascists, and also the far right are racist. So they always make it into race. It can't be that these.
Yeah, but you've not seen any far right do. You don't see any far right do anything. But I bet you've seen plenty of lefties and what have you being incredibly aggressive. I go as far as to say, not since your youth you've seen any actual far right. I imagine you probably did.
Well, no, I mean, I've been Vinny. I've been attacked 4 times and had my turban knocked off once. They were all Pakistani Muslims or Bengalis, not white people. My relative was groomed and raped, not by white people, by Pakistani guys. So obviously they're going to be racist everywhere, or they might be racist here and there. But the people that are attacking me are not from the white community. So why would I have an issue with the white community? Like, a lot of
I'm
people
sick
say,
of this, though. The white-black issue and Asian issue, it's becoming very stale, and they sound very much like lemmings falling victim to the trap that we know as the mainstream media, which they detest so much, but they've seen the exact narrative, hate crime narrative, which they seem to sing for them. So I don't understand. Are you an anarchist? Are you for a new government? Are you going to project all these sorts of lefty socialist agendas which are so cleverly pushed and pumped out in the
The
mainstream.
problem with calling everyone racist is that if everyone's racist, no one's racist. And people
This is something I say. This is something I
Yeah.
say. If one person or a very small minority of people in one race are racist, and from their narrative that makes everyone racist, that means that every single race in this world, on this earth, is racist by their own theology. It makes no sense.
Every race is tribal.
Just keep yourself safe there, Raj. I'm gonna dive out of this. But yeah, I mean,
don't worry about me. I've got an appointment with the police, and
listen,
we're seeing the police on Thursday as well.
if you need any help, give us a shout, Raj. We'll
yeah, I know you. And let me just say again, man, to everybody that's criticizing the Veteran Against Terrorism, Richard Inman, no, they did what needed to be done, and in fact, they showed so much restraint. They should be grateful they showed restraint. We can't have Speaker's Corner turning into a freaking shithole. Yeah,
exactly.
And free speech being suppressed. So they will be back if people start behaving like savages again.
Yeah.
So thank you, Richard. I really
okay, bro. All right.
Thanks,
all the best,
Richard.
man. See you. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Look out yourself, Richard.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. So how is Sangmore then?
Well, he's going to get the bollocking of a lifetime, obviously, because I'm always having words of him, and he's the most brilliant, funny, kind bloke you will ever meet. But when he debate, he says things and he has no, he's going to have to take us on the chin, and right, in being upset about that. I was disgusted, and he didn't. When I bollocked him afterwards, he really didn't see it like that. He speaks like a robot. He's saying, look, people are in a better situation in 2018. That situation was bad.
Yeah.
He's not thinking clearly. He's not thinking
a bit like Spock or something. Yeah, he's not thinking from emotion, but pure logic.
Did he actually say this at Speaker's Corner? Did he say at Speaker's Corner?
No, he was on a reality report show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And the thing is, I know him. He would sit next to anyone. I mean, Raj, he adores you to bits, and I find it ironic they was calling us racist in the same breath as mentioning the fact you was on our show.
Well, the thing is that he tried to provide evidence, and like, if you're a I'm going to keep on saying this because I'm sick and tired of it. You can't equate nationalism to racism. Yeah, they're two separate issues.
It's just a buzzword to them, mate.
Things. So as soon as I'm pro UK, so am I a racist?
Otherwise, everybody who goes to the World Cup and supports their team, it could be considered a potential racist. Everyone goes to the World Cup.
This is the problem with the UK at the moment, that any kind of people kind of wanting to preserve the UK or trying to work together and stuff as a group or whatever. Because if you look at the group of we hang around, it's so diverse, and it hurts the opposition to see that. That's why these lefties, that fat O'Connell, Donald, whatever his name, is so freaking upset about it. So yeah, it's unbelievable. Sophia, have you met Sophia yet? Then Sophia,
yeah.
Sophia, you're a little bit.
Yeah, I've met them already. And the thing about when they were speaking Turkish, whoever has that recording, definitely do try and get that translated, because just prior to this whole conversation on Raspek's channel yesterday, when we was leaving, a man came up to me and said, those guys pointed towards a group of Muslim men, said they're quite interested that we seem to be going to McDonald's. So, and that was prior to. Do you remember, Raj? So
yeah, I know. The thing is, it's so stupid. They were wearing masks. I recorded them the week before. I even told them I know exactly who you are.
I definitely do think whoever has that recording definitely needs to get that translated.
Well, who do you think has the recording, Sophia? Who do you think has the recording?
Translate it.
Yeah, obviously I recorded the whole thing and with comments as well. So I was screenshotting everything. So I'm glad everyone. I know, Vinny, you're saying that you're giving them more publicity, but sometimes you must do a counteracting argument.
What you got to understand in this situation, this isn't a normal situation. What you're dealing with there is well-trained Antifa. I recognised exactly what it was straight away.
Yeah.
It's not the normal case of just a bit of gossip. These guys are basically fake news extraordinaires. They don't have much clout or power, so they use all their might in intelligence and wittiness when it comes to putting through devious tactics. So they put in a lot of.
I saw him 3 weeks ago, and I just thought he was a ginger jihadi, but then I realised he was a freaking. He was either going to be a jihadi or an SJW lefty. So He's a bit of a nasty work, that guy. I knew when I was.
It's probably
I watched-
SJW turning into a jihadi. He's
so
skipping
I'm gonna
every
put
single other phase.
Yeah, I'm gonna put up the video tomorrow of me and him arguing, because he started bringing up Sikh historical figures, like he was like some expert, like raw. They will be ashamed of you. This person will be ashamed of you for supporting the UK. Now I can support the UK and still say I don't agree with the past. Yeah, I can say that without there being any.
I think we all can, can't we?
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
I think there's a consensus.
Please, pause a second. He's angry at you for living in the UK and supporting the UK. I mean, how silly is that?
He wants me to.
Whilst living in the UK.
We've come to that. You're living in the UK and you're proud to live in the UK. I mean, how silly is that?
Yeah, but this is the biggest danger. This is the biggest danger to the UK moving forward. You have people within the UK that actively hate the UK and want to destabilize it by causing problems.
Hang on, I've got an idea. Why don't we all move then? Why don't we all move to Ireland then? That would be great. So we all become refugees. We'll all become proud of Ireland. Let's see how you fucking like it with the refugee problem.
Exactly.
Well, the thing is, I reckon.
Yeah, but my parents are Protestants. You think that's going to cause a bit of a problem?
I think we're all going to have a bit of a problem there.
Hang on, boys. Let's have it right. The thing with the Irish issue is as follows. I was raised Roman Catholic, right? Now, on the other side there, the Catholics are the ones that dislike the English. It's got sod all to do with that. If I walked over there and said, "Hi, I'm Catholic," I'd still not be well. Basically, Anglo-Irish and Republican Irish. That's what it is, and it comes down to that. It's the resentment towards seeing, and what we're seeing now is the seeping in of all the minor factions that have no power anymore, and they're sticking together. America's making actions; they're making things illegal. At what point are we going to accept that the totalitarian system in this country is obviously allowing it to happen? Because if MI5 are watching people like us, don't think they don't know what they're doing. Of course they do.
They know exactly what they're doing.
You're welcome to agree with them. I disagree with you. You're welcome to agree with them. But the ideas of what they promote is terrorism. So to know that's going on, I'd like to think, they're as aware.
Yeah, but I mean, I just don't get the mindset of these weird little lefties. Like, I just don't understand.
Lefties aren't about communism. They're not about socialism. They're not about Islam. They're not about LGBT or Black Lives Matter. Lefties, a lot of the supremacists down there they don't care about leftyism at all. They're on their agenda because they feel shunned by society and have some sort of anarchist outlook. But lefties are ugly usually, or they're with relationships. They're jealous of people.
I've actually seen some good-looking lefties, so let's just say that
they hate.
Basically, they hate confident white men. They hate confident straight white men. That's the thing. Everything that they resent. And I've always said I'm incredibly poor. And if I sit in a car of a Bentley, I am.
I don't think you're that poor.
You've got enough money to go to the gym.
Yeah, it doesn't cost much. I'm not. No, that's exaggerated. That picture, honestly, that's just good light. I'll just do it to one.
When you're saying you're incredible poor, we imagine some kind of Victorian age, like.
You should see my other side, really skinny. Oh, so you throw me off now, thinking about other stuff.
Yeah, but and the point I was making is that if the lefties and the Islamists join together, that's a strange bedfellows.
Yeah, but they can't. They can't. They
it's
try
really strange. They can't do it
because they believe in the opposite of each other.
They did it in Iran, and then once the Muslims got in power, they got rid of the lefties.
What I don't understand is where I see LGBTQPQR, whatever it is now.
Yeah, they've added so many things onto it.
When they're advocating for Sharia, I'm like, no, please.
Glenn, it's like
amend that side.
No, but the point
around your neck.
And the point they make is that it's not all that bad, but they'll twice when they're in front of a building.
So what's happening is Speaker's Corner, so Sophia is also obviously caused a lot of ruckus. Well done, Sophia. She's like, my little kid or something, and then she's growing up and annoying everyone so quickly. I'm so proud of her. And so what's happened is that they don't understand why somebody who's transgender might hate that ideology. They just don't get it.
Exactly.
And I keep on saying to them, it's like a chicken, wanting to go to KFC. Like, why would a chicken want to go to KFC? The chicken will hate
you know
KFC.
they know, Raj. I mean, let's not play games. I mean, I'm sort of sick of the
but the
games
thing
now.
is that they
We know they know.
constantly lie. I like, and this
Mm.
is why they get called chocolate Muslims, is because they're ashamed of their religion.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, one thing that I think is annoying them now, because normally, no offense, Sophia, you have been quite a good godsend, because normally I can just point to Sophia now and say what
As
would
like a
happen to
real
Sophia
person,
under Sharia, and so it's very difficult for them to look that way and go, all right, we agree with her to be killed or chucked off a roof or something. So I think that's kind of antagonizing them as well. Like they're getting. I think what's happened, Sophia, I think you've driven them to like a savage mentality with their kind of libido or something. I don't know what's going on with them.
I don't know what
you got to start wearing a niqab.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh,
I've already said that if it gets too
A
cold, I'm
burqa,
gonna get
more
my
like.
burqa out. I've already said it.
all right. So one of the things that might has caused it as well, because obviously I said I'm just saying that I think it might be good for social cohesion to ban the burqa. And so we've been having some quite heated debates about this, because we had, I don't know if you watched the video with the lady with the burqa on. Did you watch that, you guys, Glenn or Vinny?
She was wearing a
I
hijab,
did, yes.
Raj.
So basically midway through, I mean, basically what they're saying, when I was questioning, I'm not, before anyone listens, I know you think I'm God to my enemies. I know you think I'm God, but I have no control over the laws.
Are you God as well?
Yeah, I'm as well.
Oh, gee, are we both gods, Raj?
So that's what God looks
mate,
like.
it's good to meet you, mate.
So that's what God
Yeah.
looks like. No wonder I'm an agnostic.
We're polytheists. So basically, yeah, like just speaking about this issue has really rolled them up. And what I was trying to explain
Raj,
is that
I was there when they went crazy over it.
no, I'm talking about the week before as well. So the woman,
okay.
the lady was having a conversation. She was in a burqa, and she then suddenly stopped midway through, saying, "Oh, I was upset a few minutes ago." I'm like, hold on a second, I didn't even know. So it was a checkmate. Like, if I can't tell you're upset, yeah, in a situation like that, then how can we communicate and form a bond? Yeah, I don't know what you're thinking. Yeah, you could be upset or not, and so this is why they're getting kind of even more agitated at the moment, because we're kind of like really kind of demolishing them at Speaker's Corner, and obviously they don't like that.
So you mean you gave your point of view at Speaker's Corner, did you, Raj?
Yeah, but remember to them, yeah, they worship me and I'm God. So if they think I'm God, they think by me saying banning the burqa, it'll be banned. But I haven't got that power yet.
Can I come in here quickly and say, I mean, when I was down there last review, Raj, and there was some heated discussions going on, I think maybe a couple of us, well, I probably bit a little bit too much and held back. But what causes it is because I have so many reasonable discussions with great people, but the people at Speaker's Corner don't realise the sort of tone they set when they start speaking to you. So aggressive, so they put it's an instantaneously they want to put your back up. They don't want to hear what you have to say. They're not interested, and it's all about bad tactics. People turning their back on you and things like that, trying to,
calling out to the crowd.
Yeah,
invading your personal space.
Yeah,
pushing
onto you.
Pantomime.
Yeah, exactly.
And not
it's
even
all tactics. It's all tactics. There's no respect there, and I have to say to the communities that are there, because no doubt at some point you'll listen to this or are listening. You don't know us at all, and I wouldn't have walked into all of you if I didn't have a lot of respect for you. And some of the things I said was like what you was doing, being antagonistic, because I think that you probably have white people in your life that you like, because I have a lot of black people in my life that I like. That's why I felt comfortable to stand around all of you. But when people are saying, I'll shut you down, all this sort of stuff, I thought, I'll walk off then. But when I walked off, I spoke to two chaps that seemed much more reasonable than the conversation we just had. And I wound up talking to them for another 10 minutes, even though I was already late to where I needed to be, because of their overtone. So you can accuse people of this, that, and the other, but until you look at the way you behave, you're always going to be the victim. And for what I'll say once again, I am going to apologise for what Alex said, because he is part of TRR, and it is disgusting the way he worded it. But I want you to know, and I don't have to say this, we could ignore it, that he's as kind and as wonderful as he is crazy. He is crazy, but that's really him. He's actually.
What did he say exactly? Sorry if I missed it.
He was saying because I can't remember. We'd had private discussions where put him over political correctness, and at some point during this, he's said that the black communities should be grateful for such and such, which obviously is a disgusting thing. But he was thinking on a basis of the societies in which they live in now and compared. He's not happened in between.
Is that it? Is that it?
It's not. No, that is deadly shit. No, it is deadly
Like,
serious.
it should be happy for colonial.
That's not a tasteful thing to say, but is that
Now,
it? I thought it'd be worse than that. Sorry, I thought it'd be worse.
it was bad. It was bad, and I was so angry with him because I grew up in places that it was mixed. I don't know anything different, and one of my pet hates is that because I've learned to ignore so much. I get more abuse than most people even understand. Google is a playground for me. But that's one thing about me which has never been true. I mean, me and my Turkish friends, we do slate each other to no end. To no end. Because it's funny. Where has humour gone? Where have the days on building sites? People are racist to each other all the time because they like each other, because they're friends. What point is humour's going to go?
Yes,
and it's a crying shame. It really is a crying shame. Now, the young ladies now, I'm sorry, I've forgotten Sophia. I'm sure you're not like this, but when we had a transgender, for instance, approach the building site recently on one.
Oh no, I can't hear that bit.
Yeah, it cuts out.
Hello.
The best bit.
Right, hello. Can you hear me?
Oh yes.
Yes.
Yes. So I was on this particular site for a couple of days, and the transgender comes in, and then it goes over the radio. Such and such comes in, and then we hear on the radio the transgender. The whole site now knows. Everyone has to be careful what they say because of hate crimes. The whole site, because of one person, whether they're reasonable or not, whether they're funny or not, the mentality of the average man is right. Okay, now we're in trouble because if we say or do the wrong thing, call someone, we all call each other things that you shouldn't say.
Yeah.
But at the point now, humour is down the drain. We're going to have very much dead, boring, the comedy in youth is going to be gone. The comedy in adulthood will be gone, all because people can't take a joke.
Even comedians are saying that they're finding it difficult.
Oh, they're over, mate. The funniest comedians are dead in the water.
Yeah, even Dave Chappelle and what's his name, Bill Burr.
We never cried about all the anti-white jokes. Never cried about them.
Yeah, the point people are making, people seem to think that saying I'm offended, is reason enough to stop someone's freedom of speech. If you're offended, well, go somewhere else.
Tough, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, deal with it. It's
the thing about people being offended. It's important to remember that offense is taken.
Yes, never given.
Exactly.
You can be insulted, being insulted and being offended are two different things.
Exactly.
But not enough to stop people saying certain words or saying things in a particular way. Just let people speak. Like, obviously, don't incite violence or any sort of direct hatred to anyone. Doesn't have to be any race, just to anyone.
No,
then you're fine.
They expect you to not only be careful what you say, but to follow a strict code. If you're not intelligent enough to know the ins and outs, to know what you can and can't say, to read between the lines, you're going to prison.
None of us could go to Canada.
If you're unintelligent, right? If you're unintelligent, and I'm not gonna. There's people out there that aren't as quick as other people, and they will fall straight into the trap which is being set up, and that's the statistics they need. So also, some of them people they were labeling all these people as racist. I heard one chap there talk about how he used to do dealings with someone, and I'm pretty sure you're not meant to talk about that sort of stuff. As far as we've all been involved in things, and I certainly wouldn't mention who I was involved with in that sort of circumstance. I don't know who they are. I'm not willing to slander anyone because I always wanted to have a good chat with those boys down there. I thought the first chat was so rough that I thought I won't comment on it too much. I won't make a thing of it. Hopefully we'll all get to have a chat in the future because there's a couple around the back. There's a guy who always has his face covered. Shia. Do you know the chap I'm on about, Raj?
Shia Blake or what in Speaker's
What,
Corner?
the black Shia or the other guy?
Black Shia. No,
Black
Oh
I don't
yeah,
want to.
East of the Black East of the Black Shia.
I don't want to get him in trouble by saying this.
You can call him Black, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It's like I like to be referred to as an African American blonde.
Did you know that? You know Newbie? You know Newbie and Sniper? I was on the live chat with him. He was, Macu. I said, "Oh, you're black," and you know what he said? I don't like the way you said black. You know, it's like you can't even say black anymore. Like you're black.
Yes. Can
like,
people start referring
to
me as an African American blonde German Turkish black Asian from Ireland? Please.
Christ, you've been about, mate. You've been about. And it speaks 6 languages.
Otherwise, I'll be offended.
You're not a language teacher, are you?
Oh boy.
Well, are you coming back to Speaker's Corner? I believe we haven't seen you for a while. You haven't caused enough controversy yet.
I don't think it's very safe, is it, for either of us?
Probably not. Oh, can I ask you something, Vinny? I'm asking you like your Sangmore's clearing, but I'd like to.
I basically am. I'm afraid you're not going to be seeing him for a while because I
feel like this is kind of like if I can do a little interview, obviously it'll be controlled, but if I can do like a little interview and put it on my show just to show who Sangmore is, because now people are thinking Sangmore is some kind of monster. And if I was to just meet him and do a quick
I think he has to take a punishment here, I'm afraid, because he is brilliant and I'll never turn my back on him, but he has to come to terms with some things you say. You know, they ruin all the hard work that we do. There are people out there that would like us to go down bad roads, and it's never been it's not what we're about. So we put in a lot of effort to avoid that. I guess
what? Sorry,
I was accused of liking bloody statuses as well. I'd like to see what the statuses were. They probably had words in them.
K-Dips, you turd. You do know what sarcasm and jokes are. Moses was joking that he's an African American. These people are so retarded.
An African American, German, Turkish,
they cannot understand jokes. How can you live with people like this? And this, I'm not going to be. I'm sorry to say this. He's actually Sikh. Yeah. So even the Sikhs are retarded as well. Some of them. Yeah. I'm sorry. We have bad.
You know, if you seek his brain, he might find it.
It's a sad world that, like, literally people cannot even understand even the slightest bit of sarcasm or humor.
Exactly. Yeah.
You see,
not even in tone. Like he didn't have to listen to the words that were said. Like the tone said it all.
Exactly.
This is a bit of a problem because the British tend to humor. Like I said in my speech, obviously my amazing speech will go down in history, like Lenin or something like that.
They'll uncover it one day.
So when's it going to go down, Raj? The sewer or the... No, go on.
Basically, I was trying to explain that I'm made up of 3 components, and all 3 components are important. Like I'm British, and I classify a lot of my traits, like my humor and stuff like that, is British, very sarcastic and very dark. Obviously I'm Punjabi, and that's certain traits, and then Sikh is all my religion. So obviously you have all of these kind of things. But I think one of the most important things, if you don't have the humor and you've lost that, and a lot of I'm sorry to say this, a lot of religious people, in particular Muslims, seem to have a humor lobotomy. How can you kind of like move on? How can you kind of communicate? And then once you have
it's a disconnect,
but then you have a burqa in front as well. Like how are you going to communicate or build a relationship with these people?
Can I just give an opinion?
I'm 30% British, that's 70% genius. But go on. Carry on.
Why I think that's the case, because the problem is Christianity went through all its satire for decades. It's become very used to being dug at. To Islam, it's a far more defensive thing. It's new to them, the concept that what you love can be trodden upon. Whereas in our world, we're offended every day. You see things on the telly you can't stand. Christianity, from the life of Brian to, people taking the mick out of Jesus non-stop, we're used to it. It's just
exactly
their culture has never experienced properly, and unfortunately, it's causing a lot of problems. Now, what I would suggest is, obviously, you have to understand that the only society worth living in is one where you can be offended and upset. It's the only society worth living in.
I may not like what you have to say, but I'll defend your right to say it.
Imagine, I
That's
was
the
thinking to myself, yeah, what would, under Islamic Sharia, imagine like in 300 years, it's like UK is ruled by Islamic Sharia, what the comedy would be like.
There wouldn't be.
There would
no,
be none. Like we both said that at the same time. Like there's no
What
question about
comedy?
it. It'd be dead. Dead with everyone else.
It probably would be, but it'd be televised beheadings.
No, yes, exactly.
Well,
You'd be able to laugh at the gay people being pushed off the building.
Or the headless
they
moment.
could laugh. They would laugh.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Boys, let's not get too assertive here, because you know I'm always referring back to them, but they would have been Muslim, my friends. But they are some of the funniest people I've enjoyed. We've been on holidays together, all sorts, and they're some of the funniest people. I do believe that religion. I'm an anti-theist. You know, I have an issue with religion in today's world, and I think that is the blockade of humor, and people can decide to hate me for it or whatever. But what people say, people condemn us, but what have we actually said half the time? You know, I would prefer that everyone lived a normal life and stopped depending on scripture. That's what I want. I want people, not for everyone to be subjected to fairy tales.
But we're not talking about individuals, we're talking about societies.
Yeah, I mean,
they're affected. They're affected. They baby it. You know, from the Pope to our government, they baby this and allow it to make dominance when it comes to reality. It's anti-scientific to live under a premise which you can't prove, and allow it to affect law and how we live.
But I'm saying that if you went to, I don't know, if you went to a Scandinavian country and you criticize Christianity, would you be safer than if you went to, say, Pakistan and you criticize Islam?
Well, you know that's not. I mean, just right
that's
now.
What I mean. We're talking about cultures. We're not talking about individuals.
I mean, you do know about Asisia Bibi. She was a Christian lady, and they've just released her from 8 years of on death row for insulting Muhammad. And now the country's burning, like £1 billion worth of damage.
She didn't insult. She just asked a question, didn't she?
No, I mean, I try and say this. Even if she did insult, and what, she shouldn't die for it.
Yeah, exactly.
She shouldn't have even gone to prison. Nothing should have happened to her.
Yeah.
The people that didn't like it should have just walked away and never spoke to her. It's as simple as that. I've got a black friend who said to me, I don't get why so many people nowadays are bothered about racism. If there is so many people that are racist, he goes, someone walked down the street and said to me every morning, after I said hello, he's called me a nigger. He goes, it wouldn't bother me. It wouldn't bother me at all. No, he said that. He goes, it wouldn't bother me at all.
Yeah, but don't say it.
And I would just forget about it. It wouldn't affect me. And then he goes, I'd be more thrown back by him saying hello to me after so many months than anything else.
Yeah, because the thing is that people get desensitized to stuff when it's been said a lot.
Mm-hmm.
No, just listen to rap music. Just listen to rap music if you want to hear the N-word, and then you'll get it in plenty amounts. And then don't worry, go down the road. There'll be a 10-year-old girl or boy singing all the tunes on their way to the shop. The influence is brilliant.
So the thing is that like yesterday, like Steve said the word packy. Obviously, I could say packy.
No, but Steve did say it in context.
And from a background that I was at one point a couple of times. So what he was trying to do, like sometimes you have to use, because Victor Renz is going mad that you said the N-word now, Glenn. He's going to lynch you or something.
I'm sorry, I was only using it as context of what was said.
No, he didn't say, and he didn't say the N-word. He said nigger. I'll get on with it, Raj. What are you saying?
What is it? In context, you can say these words. So Steve yesterday,
it's really obvious.
Say the word in context because people are calling Sophia a tranny. To her, that's offensive. And so he said, "What about the word packy?" And then obviously that little "I'm an Indian" kind of like was heckling him all the day, saying that Steve called someone a packy, blah blah blah. But sometimes you have to use these particular words in order to prove a point. It doesn't mean you're saying it
just to show the hypocrisy, and it was in context.
Yeah, and it's in context. But for some reason, it's okay to walk around abusing Sophia all day, calling her a tranny and all of this kind of Simon and all of that. But when you go around and say one thing back, everyone's going absolutely batshit.
Also,
Yeah,
Raj,
see, this is the thing. Like, for some reason, racism is absolutely disgusting and not accepted, but obviously being transphobic and homophobic is totally acceptable.
yeah, exactly. But also, I mean, there can't be any such thing as a word you cannot say. I mean, I get offended when people use the N word, but I don't necessarily get offended when people say the word nigger, because I think that you should be able to say whatever word you want to say, and people should. Personally, I think people should stop saying the N word and say the word nigger. But if you're going to use words like this, try to use it
It
in
sends a
context.
shiver down my spine. I
And if you
can't
don't use
lie,
it,
right? Look,
yeah,
here's where the truth comes out, right? I'm more sympathetic towards that whole thing than I usually let on. I don't like that word. I don't like what happened, right? But what I'm sick of, so when I was having the chat in Speaker's Corner, what people don't know is I deeply sympathise and detest what happened. And I've sat there and reminisced and thought, oh my God, imagine that was me. I've done that so many times. My attitude, I didn't want to give them the satisfaction. But what I'm sick of is people not understanding, were Egyptians black or white? If so, who started slavery? Slavery's been around all the time. I'm allowed to mourn the white victims of slavery, which were victims from the Barbary states, and taken in high.
yeah, I understand what you're saying. I understand, and I sympathise with what you're
I
saying.
don't like the N word, mate. I don't like. I
The
don't.
only
I
point
don't
I'm
like. I don't
making-
like it in rap. I don't like it in real life.
Nor do I. Nor do I. I don't like it when anyone uses it. But the point I'm making is that there can't be any such thing as words you cannot say. There's words you could have you could say, I'm about to say something offensive, something that someone might find offensive, and then say the word. But if you carry on like there's such a thing as words that are so powerful that if you say it, people are going to lose their minds.
Yeah, but
you're giving the word special
fact, right, that there's a word after it. If I say F word or N word or C word, you know what I mean, because they're so dominant in the language. If you say that word, it's if someone says the C word, you know exactly.
But I think I need to go back to Fat Old Donald, the biggest, fattest person.
Yeah, I'm not having a pop at you, by the way, mate. I'm just relaying some of my distresses about that word. I don't like it, especially not on streams with me. It's
a pop at Raj, you mean?
I need to go back to Fat Old Donald for a minute. Let me go back to Fat Old Donald. Fat Old Donald.
Raj is so unpopular.
Stop eating. Stop eating.
Oh, I'll match him, mate. I'll match him. Me and Raj are two peas in a pod, mate. We're probably the most detested people on the planet.
Raj, I heard that you're so unpopular that people have to make an appointment to insult you. Is that true?
I have to audition people. I'm like, all right, how good is the insult? And then I give them a rating, and then if I don't like it, thumbs down, thumbs up, and then
Someone told me that Hitler's shouting from hell, saying, "Why is he more unpopular than me?"
Yeah, I know.
He's probably jealous.
And even Satan's getting jealous, Raj. What's happening?
Stalin sat there with a notepad, taking,
Now it's like, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I've got everything.
We need this guy.
Guys, I hate to be a party poop, but I'm going to have to end the live stream. You guys can carry on with an after show, but I'm going to have to end the live stream because I've got an early start.
Go anyway. We can go in a private.
Fine.
Yeah, I'm going to go soon. Yeah.
Raj, I'll say now, sorry that I said the word that may have offended someone.
You haven't offended me.
Used it in context, explaining a story.
No, you haven't offended me. I mean,
look at this Nazi, this racist Hitler. The way he's apologizing for being racist.
Exactly.
You can only apologize if people ask for an apology. Really, no one's asked you to apologize.
The way Fat Old Donald was you was like some Hitler youth, like using a war. What Hitler?
It's why they wouldn't have us. First of all, we're not even anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
We wouldn't get past stage one. We wouldn't get past stage one with them.
And the other problem that we have...
also to apologize for being so ugly to everybody, just in case.
Yeah, just in case.
I apologize to everyone for my deeply disturbing looks.
Because thank you to Manny for doing the show. He has got a long day tomorrow.
Yes, thank you, Manny.
Everybody for jumping on to Richard Inman, big up Richard Inman, and to fat slanderous Fat Old Donald.
Apologize to the fat people, Raj, though, and apologize to anyone who doesn't like humor. So.
No, I identify as a fat person, Raj, mate. I'll see you in court.
Yes.
I'll see you in court.
I might.
Okay, guys,
you know what? He's really roly-poly, so I might give him a bit of a hug.